Well, a very good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to yet another Flight Deck Sim live stream. Today, the 12th of November 2020, 4 minutes past 8 in the evening, United Kingdom. I couldn't leave it long enough, guys, so I had to get back into the iniBuilds A300 really quite soon because it's such an awesome aircraft. I didn't want to fly without forgetting everything I'd learned the other day, so I thought of a really cool sector for us to fly. Starting off in the Flying Tampa scenery here in Copenhagen, we're going to take an hour 50-minute flight to the Faroe Islands, Vagar International Airport in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean, in between the UK and Iceland. It's going to be an interesting flight, guys. Weather there is not great. It's right on minimums. Our alternate is really far away, so we have to divert. We'll be in for quite a long stream, but we're going to do everything as realistic as possible. It's going to be a really awesome stream. I hope you're doing really well this evening as well. Loads of the members in tonight. Andy M71 says Airbusing again. Ian Finnegan, he goes, hey, Runway 2001 says good evening. We've got some non-members too. Ralph Bartle says evening everyone. Chad Pullman, Flight Sim startup, that means CPU fan set to toga. Yeah, my CPU's whirring away already. It gets very hot here. Everyone's still liking the start of the music to the stream as well. Listener says, I love myself some IFR in the soup. Well, the weather's not that great here in Copenhagen either. It's going to be really an interesting sector this evening. So we're going to zoom on in here. As I said, the scenery is here from Flight Tampa. We are running the sim 12 hours behind live time as well, so we can enjoy what scenery there is below 400 feet before we get to the overcast cloud conditions, but so be it. Here is the main terminal area, but we are, of course, in the cargo apron, so we are in the Airbus A300 today. We are rocking the alpaca cargo livery, as we did with the last Airbus A300 stream by Moen. So again, thank you very much for making that livery. Hurricane chicken to detail, not quite, but the wind is certainly blustery here. But right now in Copenhagen, 4,000 meters visibility, light drizzle of rain, high pressure at least, but overcast around 1,000 feet. We'll have a look at Vagar later on. The weather there is not looking that great at all. Pretty lonely here over on the cargo apron. There's a couple of DHLs here. We've got our shipment of, and what would the Faroe Islands is a Danish island, I think. I don't know what the Danes like having, but we're certainly loading plenty of it on the aircraft today. Very short runway in Vagar as well, only 1,800 metres, pretty much probably on the limits of what an Airbus A300 could land on, plus the runway's very narrow, so, oh my goodness, did you see that? It's like an aircraft just spawned straight across us there. But yeah, it's going to be a really wicked flight, and I can't wait to get back into this aircraft as well. Now, I did test the approach earlier, streaming that to Discord. There are nav approaches available today, later on in Vagar. There's some slight issue here. If there's no star, you can't select the approach. So we're going to try and attempt an offset localiser approach instead. If we can't get in off the minimums off that, we'll fly a second approach, flying the RNAV approach. We might even have an attempt with a tailwind on the ILS there, but we'll see how we get on. Otherwise, we'll have to divert to Inverness later anyway. Right, so we'll zoom on in here. Loading the aircraft as we speak. We've only got about 10 tons of cargo, so it's going to take about 15 tons or so. But there we are. We'll jump ourselves into the cockpit up the stairs. There we go. And we'll get the show on the road. Now, Mariana is around today, but she isn't feeling too well, bless her, because as I was saying last stream, she had a bit of an ear infection at the moment and quite swan. She's basically having to shout at her all the time here, so I really promise I need to shout to her. I'm sure they're all sending you regards. Thank you very much, Stuart Love, for the £10. I have been following your brilliant content for a while, but never caught a live stream. Have a pint on me when they're open. Thank you very much, Stuart Love, for your £10. Very kind of you say. Yeah, when they do open. Oh dear, the figures in the UK today, I think it was a record number amount of coronavirus cases.
40,
but, this is the
30,
world we live in.
20,
Oh no, I completely forgot. I think
10.
it's going to tell us your message anyway, Stuart, so I'll let that crack on.
Hey, been following your brilliant content for a while but never caught a live stream. Have a pint on me when they open.
Thank you very much, Stuart. Again, that's very kind of you. Wicked. So I'm going to be following the expanded procedures included with the iniBuilds A300. We are, of course, on VATSIM as well. Everything I do today, especially if you're new to a live stream, I do as realistically as possible in these streams. As per real-world procedures, we can have a good discussion about the amount of fuel we're going to take, the kind of legality behind that, because the forecast weather is meant to be very close to minimums, if not below. We'll have a careful look at alternate planning, and when we fly the approach into Vagar later as well, we'll have a careful look at what requirements are and things like approach bands and stuff like that. It's probably quite interesting to have a look at. Right, let's get the show on the road. So pop the batteries on, external powers available. There we are, AC powers alive. Love the immersion sounds of this aircraft, absolutely awesome. Christian, what is your horizontal field of view in your graphics settings? I guess you would mean just the field of view. It's 105. 105. I have mine set to 105. Hydraulic panel. Then we'll check. We've got green hydraulic systems. All green there. Wiper switches are off, even though it is raining. I think ever since Vulcan's been released on X-Plane 11, the rain effects on windscreens completely broken. Hasn't worked since it. But they used to be really cool. The Zebo mod with the ski rain effects, but I haven't seen them work in any aircraft since Vulcan's been released, which is a real shame. Verify the gear lever is down, which it is. Flat levers are off. Weather radar is off at this stage. It is. I know iniBuilds are very shortly going to be releasing an update soon where they have a working weather radar, but it isn't simulated at the moment. External power we can verify is on. Doing the APU fire test now. On this whopping great big overhead panel, it's such a beast. So squib, and then here's the loop test. There's 2 loops on the APU. Verify APU loop A, and then it simulates an APU fire. So we've got a file handle pull, discharge and master switch will be off as well. Would be the steps there. That's the APU fire test done. Thank you very much to Jugo Vugo, who's just joined us as a member. That's a fantastic name. Welcome aboard as a member. I'm glad you enjoyed the content. You get invited to our members only Discord, enjoying custom emojis in chat as well. We're expecting a toga on the podge as well. Thanks for subscribing as well. Robertson's J. Santana as well. So there's the APU fire test done. Whilst we're at it, might as well do the engine fire test. It doesn't come later on. So there's 2 squibs for each engine. By the looks of it, on the 737 there's 2 squibs per engine. I think that's how that's working. And again, we'll check both loops. Loop A. There's the fire test again with the ECAM. It tells you the steps to follow. Test engine number 2. And lots of dings, Bloodline. Ding, ding, ding. It is certainly dinging away here. Right. Freckles, yes, your favourite word, POG. You were writing so we could... I was in a bit of a conversation on Discord with someone who even came in saying POG earlier. Keep those chats to the sort of childrenish area of Discord, please. There you get telling off from me. IRS mode selectors are coming up to nav now. There we are. 1, 2... 3, check the battery operation lights in there for 5 seconds, and then alignment mode engages. There we are. Inertial system display unit check on, put the display switch to present position. It's set to present position. Oxygen low pressure switches coming on as well. They're already on, so I think they are on by default when you push them off. You can see the low pressure slightly drops off there. Another shaded light will then test. I think we should call the name of the guy who does the TCAS voice. I want to call him Gavin, because Gavin sounds brilliant every time you sound all out there. My goodness. Pressurization, emergency exit lights now armed, and then we'll set VHF as required. So we'll just put VHF 1 on. We'll grab the 80s very shortly. Captain Monster, engine fire test. Yes, we have done the engine fire test. We did that about a minute ago. So flight day preparation, MC, I think MC is the FMC, but it says initialised now anyway. So nav accuracy is downgraded because we haven't got the IS aligned. We don't have the GPS prime at the moment using cost index 0. We're going to use a slightly lower cost index today. I've read online the A300 cost index and the 7.3 kind of ranges from 0 to 100. Well, it goes a lot higher, but typically at 100, you're at maximum speed here. I think the Airbus A300. I just noticed when I used cost index 30, which is what I usually using the 7.3, it was very fast, everything, so I'm going to knock it down to about 5 and see what speeds that gives us today. Because I think at 30 they're very high speeds for the A300. Right, we're in Copenhagen. It's Echo Kilo Charlie Hotel, and then / Echo Kilo Victor Golf. That's in alternate. It's going to be Inverness if we do have to divert later, which today is a possibility with the weather. So we'll put that in here as well. I will align the IRS. Temperature, I think this is just the height, temperature at your top climb and the height of the tropopause. That's data you don't enter into the 7.3's FMC. I guess the A300 flight management computer system uses that data for something or other to make the engines more efficient. I have no clue. But you can get the height of the tropopause on all of the waypoints here, so we'll take the ones at top of climb. Again, I'm not 100% sure if this is accurate, but you can see here on the flight plan, you get the height of the tropopause, where is it, TRP, that's tropopause. At top of climb, you can see it's at 38,200 feet, so what we'll do, the temperature is going to be -57, and then the height of the tropopause is 38,200 feet. Yeah, it's interesting that the FMC takes that information. Why, I have no idea. I'm interested to find out. Call sign is going to be Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha this evening. There we go. And cruise wind, I'll stick in the average wind here. That is 172 at 35, so a little bit of a tailwind. Not much of a wind this evening. There we go, so that page is filled in. That's as much as we do at this stage here. How far is Szczecin from the Faroe Islands? Yes, what was that, 3 or 4 streams ago? Oh, we nearly ended up going there. My goodness, yeah, northern Poland. We actually went there on the members group flight because my sim crashed. I started from there. Enzo, don't you just love the sound of the APU and engine fire test alarm in the morning when doing the cockpit preparation to 737? I'll let you know now, it kind of wears off slightly, and it's very loud and annoying, but a vital test and step, it's not the sort of thing I look forward to anyway. Make subscribing, C's Corner, and Peter Bot as well. Lots of people coming in here. Oh my, Peter Bot, for Peter Bot. Suspicious. If there's any moderators here beyond the pool. Moban new cost index. Yes, we're going to use cost index 5. There we are. That's all in there today. Great. So, ensure white lights pass during flow are extinguished. I guess white's light caution. Didn't see any there at this stage. Right, no smoking switch sign can go to auto. Seatbelt sign come on, even though we're already carrying cargo today. Hydraulic power panel check. Do not use electric hydraulic pumps at this stage. Servo control panel, low pressure light is illuminated. They are. Flight recorder ground control on. That is on. Lighting. So at this stage here, we want to pop on at the nav and logo lights on. That is pretty much it. ATS on, pitch trim. I think the IRS is aligned already. It is, because I accidentally forgot to turn off, have fast alignment on when I was testing it early, because I wanted to get the alignment up as soon as possible. So the IRS is already aligned. That means I can turn the yaw damper switches on. It mentions in the checklist, don't put the yaw damper switches on until after the alignment is complete. Paul Donnelly, it's amazing how the A300 is basically a Boeing. I think that's why I like it so much, because it has so much in common. It's so different to all the problems here. Desktop alerts are a wee bit louder, is that right?
Your voice is not as loud as it should be.
Oh, is my voice a bit quiet? Let me know in the channel. Have you seen what's going on here? Keep an eye on that, though. We've got all sorts subscribing here. I'm not sure if that's generally good. Yeah, let me know in the chat if the volume's not good. I think one of the members messaged Mariana saying I was too quiet, but let me know in chat. That's the best place of telling me. Thank you very much to Nuclab has just joined as a member. Welcome aboard. Glad you joined the content. And you'll get invited to our members only Discord as well. Thank you, very good. Voice is good now. I've just moved the mic slightly close to me. So that's hopefully a little bit better. Right, let's crack on. ATS lever is on. This is the MCP, I think essentially powers the entire MCP. Pitch trimming yaw damper levers, we've done. Electrical power switch or panel check. So at this stage here, we're running off the GPU. Won't get the APU started just yet because we don't want to waste all that fuel until we're ready to go. Generator 1 and 2 fault lights are illuminated, so it helps us actually look at the electrical panel. There you are, we have fault lights on, but that's correct because the engines aren't running. Lovely, that's done. Ignition selector switches verify off. They are. Electrical indicator panel, select ESS and emergency. We briefly discussed on the last stream all the information here, just like the AC/DC metering panel on the 7.3, seldom used, perhaps in the A300 more so, but you can see the standard AC power, 115 volts, 400 hertz, and you see these are transformer rectifier units as well. It's very similar to a Boeing. I love it for that reason. Cool, fuel panel switch, all fuel pumps on. So there's kind of 4 wing tanks and a centre tank, and there's a trim tank as well. Probes can come on as well, window heat on too. And we'll put the galley electrical power on at this stage as well. So that's all set. Cabin pressurization, verify the main pressure amber arrow is extinguished. So you can manually pressurize the system. I think you can then, on the 7.3 have an outflow valve which you open and close. I think here in the Airbus a little bit better described. You can just change your cabin altitude up and down. It's a little bit clearer perhaps. But we have 2 pressurization mode controls on the A300. Again, that's a Boeing term. System 1, they alternate in the Boeing as well between each flights. We'll leave that as it is. Cargo command, smoke detector, cross-check, verify it's on, so all the switches are on. Main deck cargo smoke detector is all on. There's fire test as well for that, so you have to verify all these lights are on when you hold the switch down.
50,
and there's a loop test
40,
as well, verify installation
30,
fault overheat.
20, 10.
That's looking good. Thank you very much, Andy M71, one of my members. Thank you.
Just running the stream checklist. Computer check. Headphones check. Food check. Beer check. Okay, stream is stable, continue. By the way, use some of this to get Mariana some Superboc to help her feel better.
Thank you very much, Andy M71. That's very kind. I'm sure she heard that because I know she's watching the stream in the background to making sure everyone's behaving there. That's very, very kind of Andy M71. And a message to all my members, really, you know, we appreciate any donation, but please just enjoy your membership with your. That's all we ever ask for. I hope you get everything out of that. So thanks a lot, guys. Anyway, it's very kind, but it's very difficult to accept. Anyway, we'll crack on with what we're doing. Actually, you know what? I can hear it banging around in the fridge. Maybe she's getting a... We don't have any Superboc here. We've got Desperados, but maybe she's cracking one open now. Enzo, which plane would you rather fly, the 7.5 or 7.6? Imagine the 7.3 was decimated from existence. Thanks a lot, Enzo. Yeah, the 7.5. I think it's a better looking plane than the 7.6. The 7.6 looks a bit, I don't know, wide and gawpy for me. Oh, look at the weather. It's really deteriorated here in Copenhagen. I mean, this sort of looks a little bit like a 7.6 in a way, but I prefer the look of the 7.5 for sure. Sorry? Anti M71 got you some beer money.
Oh.
Superboc. Off you go to the shops. Thanks, Andy. Wicked. Let's crack on with the rest of the checklist then. So we've done the smoke detector test. We've on the emergency exit lights. Oxygen panel set. Emergency exit lights are armed. Air bleed panel is set as well. It's really cool. Love this digital display here. So we'll start the AP and put the AP bleed on later. The cross feed will then open, just like the 7.3 that has an isolation valve, and that will pressurise both packs and also distribute the air for the engine, start for both engines, and then when the engines have started, the cross feed closes, so each engine provides the conditioned air to the packs. It is just a big 7.3. This absolutely awesome. Pack temperature panel check mode selector switches are in auto. They are EFIS control panel. There we are. So the setup on this checklist here, I'm not sure if it's an official Airbus A300 one. At my operator, we have a bit more of a flow, a bit more logical with our briefings here. I'm just following this checklist, and I'll sort of do a rough flow based off my operator's SOPs to make sure everything is correctly set here. Starting on the left hand side then, so the flight directors are on. We'll leave it in the nav display. Decision height. Now actually someone commented on my last Airbus A300 because I didn't ask the question. I'm not sure why the checklist asked us to set -5 feet. Apparently, and he wasn't 100% sure, but the chap that commented in the last video said apparently that it can stop some nuisance EGPWS warnings on departure. I don't know how true that is, because I was wondering why on earth does it get you to set -5 feet on your decision height for departure, but apparently that could be the reason, so who knows, who knows. That's set anyway. Speed will set as we do the takeoff performance. We'll get a clearance shortly. I'm going to expect a Misky 1 Foxtrot, which has a stop level of flight level 70. So I'll push this button in here, then that allows you to set it in 1,000-foot increments. It'll either be runway 22 left or 22 right for departure. Both of them have a runway QDM of 217. Spin it the right way, so it's quicker. It does take some setting up this bird, so thanks a lot for your patience here. Finn, think the 732 is the best looking Boeing. Yeah, it is a classic. It does look great. I mean, all the 737s, the cross section was actually taken off the 7.0, the first you know, the first kind of main commercial jet airliner, which still carries on to the NG and the Mac. So you know, it's all the same aircraft really. Right, so that's the MCP set now at this stage. Captain, switch, extinguish any lights that are illuminated. Well, we don't have any here. Grab the 80s very shortly. That's all set. Otherwise, altimeter. Oh, it's getting me to set the QNH, so let's grab the 80s now. See if there is anyone online. Well, yeah, we have Copenhagen approach and tower online. That's wicked, but there is no 80s, unfortunately. So what I'll do, I'll just grab the latest METAR from Copenhagen. So the wind's 150 at 10 knots, 4,000 meters visibility, rain, few clouds at 600, overcast at 1,000 feet, temperatures 8 degrees, and QNH is 1017, so you can see the weather's definitely working. And we'll set the QNH now, which is 1017. And that sets all the altimeters for us, which is great. That should indicate the elevation in Copenhagen, which is... Let's have a look here. 8 feet. It's only about 40 feet, but to be fair, we still have 1017 set. Because I think the knob actually changes it here. So that still says 1017 there. Now, yeah, it's around 10-20 feet. That's perfect. Great. So we've got the weather kind of loaded in. We'll imagine we have the ATIS. Next step was check the standby instruments. We need to set the clock as well. So I am running the sim 12 hours behind live time. I love this thing. It's basically a manually controlled clock which never seems to synchronize with real time. So if you set this, it goes out of sync as I stream, I've noticed. Again, I don't know if it should. I'm guessing it shouldn't. But I'm going to set the local time in the sim. So we're running a sim 12 hours behind live time. So the time in the sim is actually 2 minutes behind live time because of the slight delay in the stream. Paused it. So we'll stick in 80826. Ooh, crikey. Oh, cool, that was close. 0826, which is 12 hours behind live time. Put it to slow now. Just take a bit of time. There you go. That's 2 minutes for the setup wasted just setting up a clock. Oh dear. But if you move it to fast, it's very, very quick. And you'll see over time it'll lose sync. So I put 25, 26. There we are. Oops, oh no, it's gone to 20... Yeah, I think that'll do, within a minute there, so I'm happy with that. There you go, it's just gone to 27, and right now on my PC, it's 10 seconds behind that. I don't think I'll get any closer. Sorry, clock is set. Jeepers. Next then is standby altimeter, slat flap position indicator, check it's up, which it is, so you have the position of the slats and flaps here. Check brake accumulator pressure is in the green, it is. Parking brakes set, water brake switches extinguished, reverse unlock lights are out. They're here, they are. Landing elevation, the elevation in Vagar is 280 feet, so I'll stick in 300 here. That's set. Brake fan is required, it's not because the aircraft is called dark. Takeoff warning check. Verified config says flaps not takeoff config, it does. So that's checked, fuel levers are off. Warning systems, emergency cancel switches have been satisfied. Rudder trim is set to 0. And it is, aileron trim is set to 0 as well. And we're now ready for the FMS entries. Now, just before I enter the data into the FMC, we'll get the clearance just to make sure we have that set here. Because it's an Airbus, if we get a different runway, different departure, I'll be scratching my head for a brief while whilst I work out how to get everything set up. Right, there's no... Oh, there's ground online. They're all coming online now. So we'll grab 1 to 1.9, which is the ground frequency. That's tuned. I just need to turn up the volume here in the background for volume mixer. There we go. Oh, it's already turned up. I'm just guessing it's very quiet frequency, and we'll try and grab our clearance. We're on the... obviously we'll do all the briefings as well. But here we are. Here's the whole of Copenhagen Airport. Hopefully we'll get runway 22 left for departure, so we'll taxi Golf India, cross the runway via Victor 2, and then we'll depart from runway 22 left. The other departure runway is 22 right, which should be a bit of a longer taxi. that's it. So he told that guy to stand by, so we'll just wait a little bit longer before getting out.
Get to ground. Good evening, Lufthansa 2 Kilo Mike, stand Alpha 15.
It's definitely a Lufthansa pilot.
Delta, QNH 1017, requesting clearance to Düsseldorf.
Oh, he's going to Dusseldorf.
Lufthansa 2
Harry, you're
Kilo
watching
Mike,
me
good
whilst
evening,
listening to
stand
the
by
Scottish
Cockpit.
v Serbia game. Very cool. Freckles says hi. Alan 9 goes, hi, how's this going? Very excited. Toby's dear passengers, unfortunately we got delayed about 2 hours due to a slow moving clock.
Apron, good day, Faroe Islands 453, stand Alpha 8, request clearance to Vágar. Stand 453, cast away from good evening, stand by short Quebec.
There's loads of people trying to get the clearance here. You know what, I'm going to start setting up based off runway 22 left, because there's about 4 people waiting for clearances at the moment. So route page, init A, alternate cost index, cruise flight level, flight ID and weather's in here, so the only thing we got to update was our flight level, which is going to be flight level 360.
Chicken 177, cast away from good evening, stand by short Quebec.
So that's set. So we've done everything on that page. Now we'll go to flight plan. So leaving Copenhagen, SID. Runway 22 left shouldn't be any issue here because they've used both runways for departure. SID is going to be a Mixie 1 Foxtrot. Insert. There we are. Let's grab the flight plan. So Mixie direct to Aalborg VOR. Oh no, I'm not in a 7.3 here, so I'm going to press Mixie, new waypoint, Aalborg. From Aalborg, it's going to be Lima 621 to Valdi. And actually, we're going to enter oceanic airspace today. Valdi is the oceanic entry point into Reykjavik Oceanic. Which is quite cool. So Valdi. From Valdi is the Gulf 3 airway to Connie. So that is set. And then from Connie it's direct to Rober. Oops. Right, I don't even know. I need to press Connie, don't I? There we go. What have I done? No, I've just accidentally deleted Connie. God damn Airbus, it's still trying to be an Airbus, even though it's so Boeing-y. Right, Voldy, Golf 3, Connie. God damn it. Valdi, Connie. I think Valdi, Golf 3 is direct to Connie anyway. Right, now I press Vagar, star. Localize approach runway 12. There's no arrivals, so I'm going to insert that. And we're going to route initially from Connie. I'm just going to leave it direct to CL12. I want it to actually go from Connie. Oh, where happened to Vagar? Rober. I didn't put Rober in. Look. Damn it, Airbus. Connie Rober, and then I actually want to route direct to the NDB afterwards, so I'm going to delete CL12.
Almost correct, squawk 0241.
Oh, it's still not deleted it. Oh, I know why, because I need to press clear.
219,
Yes, well done. Clear. And I hate that you have to flick all the way down. Again, that's really annoying. And then clear. There we go. Right, that'll do at this. Another flight plan discontinuity. Clear. There we go. Right. This stage here.
Okay, start.
That's completely fine. It's all set.
Thank you. Push and start. Proof to face south.
You forgot Robot. I just about remembered Jeremy.
Push and start. Proof to face south. QNH 1017.
Common, I live in Copenhagen. When should I expect to see you fly by me? In about hopefully 20 minutes, if I don't take much longer. So the routing's in. Times are in as well. I mean, we're going to be another half an hour to airborne, so we're going to probably be touching 11 o'clock UK time in Vagar. I reckon so, a little over 2 hours from now. I'll get out now, try and get our clearance.
Copenhagen ground, Alpaca 34 Delta.
Here, Alpaca's in.
Alpaca, confirm those Alpaca 32 Delta.
Uh oh, can't remember his call sign. Guys, don't forget as well, Saturday, we're doing Cross the Pond.
Alpaca 32 Delta, yes.
Loads to look
Roger,
forward to.
Alpaca 32 Delta. Push and start approved, QNH 1017.
In fact, it's actually infuriating. Try pressing up to get to the last leg page. Like it's an Airbus pilot trying to be a polo pilot.
Lufthansa 053, cast away from good evening, text and Alpha 14 via Bravo and Yankee.
Nicholas, it's stand ups in the A300 to pre-select the up speed in the speed window. You do this by pressing the speed knob. I know about that one now, Nicholas, and we'll do that shortly.
Now 177, are you ready to copy?
I'm ready to copy.
177, go ahead.
So busy. Right, I think we'll do swing that.
You
We'll do
are
our
set to
performance
Vagar,
data.
but they makes you 1 Charlie, runway 29, score 4774.
So load manager, fuel. Ooh, we need some of that.
So
today, minimum block fuel is 16 tonnes. All right. Not taking the fact we're on VATSIM into account, the weather there isn't that great in Vagar. In fact, it's pretty much on minimums for the localiser approach.
Good evening, Alpaca 22 Golf, stand Charlie 30. Request for clearance to Vagar.
So it's pretty much on minimums, the weather here. So what we're going to do, usually I'd probably take an extra 30 minutes of fuel. I'm actually going to take a little bit more than that. The reason is A, VATSIM, B, our alternate is really far away, and I'd like to have a couple of cracks at this approach anyway. So if the weather was fine, I'd probably take 16.4 tonnes of fuel, because this aircraft burns 4.6 tonnes an hour. It's quite fuel thirsty, obviously, compared to the 7.3. So I'm going to whack an extra hour of fuel on top. That's allowing me to have a couple of goes at the approach into Vagar, maybe 3. We wouldn't fly a third approach in reality, but also look at our reserves. Look, our alternate 6.5 tonnes needed. That's because it's all the way. It's on a remote island, the Faroe Islands, obviously Vagar. Alternate's in Inverness, all the way here. It's 58 minutes to get there. So by taking an extra hour on top of this, it's giving me a lot of wiggle room here. So I'll take an extra hour's fuel. That's about 4.6 tonnes. That's going to be about 20.7 tonnes of fuel. So that's how much fuel I'm going to take today. So it's enough for an hour extra for me to have a couple of approaches and then divert to Aberdeen. Hopefully not, but if we do, we'll have enough fuel there to divert and land with our final reserve intact. So 20.7 tonnes has been requested. You can press load fuel. There we are. If we press the next page, cargo weight, so we're going to take 20 tonnes of cargo. Assortment of gifts for the children of Vagar. Father Christmas run. I don't know what got on board. You guys decide. 20 tonnes, load. There we are. So the aircraft fuel is loaded. It's all ready now for the performance. I really want to get our clearance now if we get a chance.
Lufthansa 2 Kilo Mike Alpha 15 requesting push and start.
Liam T. Inverness to Aberdeen, referencing the fact I always get the two muddled up when we did that stream Microsoft Flight Series. It is Inverness today.
Push and start approved facing east and QNH 1017, Lufthansa 2 Kilo Mike. Alpaca 57 Kilo ready for taxi.
Very busy.
Alpaca 57 Kilo
The finest Danish Studebaker bash, love it.
Short of runway 12. Runway Yankee Foxtrot and hold short runway 12, Alpaca 57 Kilo.
Copenhagen ground. Hello, it's Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, stand Charlie 130 on the cargo apron. Request departure clearance to Vagar. Request 22 left for departure.
Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, cast away from good evening. You are cleared to Vagar via the Mixi 1 Foxtrot, departure runway 2 to left, squawk 4735.
Clear to Vagar, Mixi 1 Foxtrot, departure runway 22 left, squawk 4735, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha.
Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, read back correct.
Perfect, so we've got our clearance. As expected, so in Copenhagen usually, I've flown here before, 22 right is the main departure runway from the terminals, but because of our location here in the cargo apron, it doesn't make sense trundling all the way over there. So as I've said, we're going to taxi. Look at the visibility decreasing in the sim as well. We're going to go Golf India and then Victor to Tango, kind of loop around ourselves around here for runway 22 left. Right, all we've got left to do now is the takeoff performance. We'll send the takeoff performance to the computer. Copenhagen, so Echo Kilo Charlie Hotel. Runway 22 left for departure, full length, 3,300 metres. Wind, again, we're just going to use the METAR wind. So right now, 1.5... Well, actually, just better refresh that. Cargo is alpaca feed. Jambino and John from Wiltshire say chickens. Nicholas said the guy had a nice Danish accent. I'm guessing that's not mine. Right, here's the latest weather. 150. It's 10. Temperature is 9 degrees. QNH is 1017. It's a wet runway for departure. Now technically, slush. Anti-ice. So we're going to have engine anti-ice on for departure. Okay. Takeoff weight is 130.2 tons. The reason engine anti-ice on is because our operator, we're in icing conditions at the moment. That is the fact temperature's below 10 degrees and there's visible moisture, so we'd have the engine, we'd actually have wing anti-ice on for departure as well. You know what, I should probably select both. I'm going to try the flaps up, leading edge slats at 15 degrees, air conditioning on, flex. We'll try and compute that. So second segment runway is the performance limiting factor, as usual. We can take flex of 42 degrees, and the V speeds are set to send the data to the FMS. Make a note of that trim, so 1.3 down. Listen out for the whirring here, such a cool sound. I'll go the other way for a bit so it makes that sound. Have a listen to this. Why is it not doing it? Oh, it usually goes... Damn it, why does nothing work? Nothing works when you want it to. Gonna go to the takeoff page. V speeds are in. V2 is 167. And I learned something since flying this last. We what's that speed again? 167. We put in 167 here. And what you do then, push the speed knob in. Now it says preset. And then you set this speed plus 20 knots apparently. I mean, this is the clean flaps up speed, so we'll set 235 knots now. And that's it, you don't push the button in again. I think what that does, it allows the aircraft to accelerate at the acceleration height. Go from there. Thrust reduction height, I'm going to set that what it is at my operator actually, which is 1500 feet. So that's the point at which it goes from climb, takeoff thrust to climb thrust. Acceleration height is going to be 1000 feet as well. Same for the engine failure too. So that's all set. Takeoff performance is in. We're doing well, guys. Oh, can we get more? Can we get some more calls out of Gavin? Says GFace 100. Yeah, I'll do one more for you. Oh, hold on. Here he is.
Stop runner input.
Just for you, GFace 100. Yes, he probably had a different name perhaps, but we'll call him Gavin at Alpaca Railways. Right, so we set V2 on the FCU. Enter the flex temperature. That's what I'm going to do. So 42 degrees. Flex temperature 42 degrees. Outside temperature is 8. That should, I believe, when I set takeoff thrust, set this figure here. Am I right? Do I have to push anything else? No, I think that's correct. So that's all set. Right, ready for the before start checks. Let's check this now. Running a bit late. We're on due off at 30. This aircraft takes a lot long. In it be Shane Boyle. Oh dear, thank you. I nearly forgot to do that on the last stream as well. Thank you. Shane Boyle, you win the excellent, outstanding first officer award this evening. Thank you. Right, block fuel. That was 20.6 tons. 0 fuel weight. That is on the load sheet. There we are. 0 fuel weight, 109.6. I would have forgotten that. And if you start the engines as well, you don't have any access to this page. Optimum levels 350, cruising at 36, so it's okay. We're below the maximum flight level. CG is 30.1. Now I think I've loaded everything into the FMC. Thank goodness. Are you a real pilot? Jim, you've got to blame our fictitious first officer, Jim. My goodness, the visibility is now 2,000 metres, guys. Really dropping off here in Copenhagen. Right, FMS entries complete. Fuel quantity check, 20.6 tons. We'll clear the ECAM messages. We have 20.6 tons, that's confirmed. I'm going to close all the doors now. So exits, close all. There we are. And the steps will then pull away 2, so close all. And ground services. Air stairs can go, loader can go. We need to get the APU fired up now as well. So APU, master switch on. APU master switch to start. There we are, very close to push and start. Next thing is check the altimeter's correct QNH setting is set, which is 1017. Brakes anti-skid is set to on, window and doors closed, and then we'll request push and start. So we just need to get the APU up and running. There it is, making a big noise. Tim, the setup's locked for the flight. It's just there's so much to do. I mean, look at this overhead panel, straight from the space shuttle. So many switches and buttons. It's basically one of the first aircraft to not have had a flight engineer. Right, APU power is available, so we can now disconnect the external power and then remove it all here. Right, let's just call for the better pushback tug. And it's very likely to be in this direction. The only thing I need to do is brief the taxi and the SID, which I haven't done. Oops, that's the worst pushback position ever. There we go.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged, call me through the menu when you're ready.
Oh, very good. He sounds Danish. And, start
Ground to
pushback.
cockpit, always driving up.
So we're going to push back to face north, taxi out via Gulf India, cross runway 22 left, which is an active runway, a landing runway, and then Victor 2, Victor 1 for runway 22 left. The SID, which we've been cleared on, excuse me, is the Mixie 1 Foxtrot. Not available during activity of a particular area. RNAV approval required. We are RNAV equipped. You can fly this if you're not RNAV equipped. You essentially just take off and contact departures, and they'll give you a vector. Initial clearance to flight level 70, which we set. Mixie 1 Foxtrot jet only. Climb on extended runway centre line to 1500 feet. And we have 1500 feet there in the FMC. And then from there, it is 2 miles from CAS, which I think it tunes for you automatically because it's an Airbus, so I think it tunes
Okay,
the
all doors and hatches are
I
closed.
think it doesn't matter because we're going to use the nav mode anyway. And then that corresponds to waypoint Levdo and whatever's later, so the 1500 feet or 2 miles, and then we're going to make a turn. Charlie Hotel 384, Sorga, Mixie, sorry, so that's coded in the FMC correctly. So yeah, that's it, all ready to go. About time we requested push and start, I think. Thanks for subscribing, Bass, Rocket Porter. Copenhagen ground, Alpaca 6, Victor Alpha on stand, Charlie 130, request push and start.
Alpaca 6, Victor Alpha for push and start, contact tower 118.1, bye bye.
Tower on 118.1 Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, bye.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking
Did
brake.
he say contact tower for push? I guess he's closed.
Apron, good evening, Scandinavian 7526 holding short Zulu.
I'm pretty sure he said that. Did he actually clear me for push and start, or did he say contact tower for push and start? Very strange, because I guess he said he's closing. We didn't say he's closing though. Let's see what tower says to this anyway. At Copenhagen Tower, hello, it's Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. Just transfer from ground to you on stand Golf 130 on the cargo apron, request push and start.
Hello, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, custom tower, standby, very short traffic behind that. In the meantime, set score 4735.
4735 Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. Where were you guys? Where are you, first officer? First officers, don't forget to set the squawk. 4735. Ah, I see. Copenhagen Tower controls the cargo apron. Well, there you go. There's traffic behind. Ah, Chanix. Chanix has just requested push and start for the cargo apron. Just about to see him in the fog. Understood. Thanks for that, guys. Did not know. Neil's filling me in there with the information. Thanks for subscribing, Simon Faulkner. Freddy175 as well, telling me all about Copenhagen procedures as well. Very cool. Philippe, you do have to hard tune the nav aids for departure, then clear them up after you reach cruise. Okay. Let's see if I can remember how to do that. So 12.5 for CAS. I mean, do I go VOR and then tune it and then close it again? Oh look, it's already tuned anyway. Look, 12.5, it's done it for me. So I've got a funny feeling someone said to me, if it knows the SID, it has the SID database in the FMS, and if there's one required for the departure, it selects it for me. But yeah, it's already there. I mean, I'm not going to be using it anyway.
Golf India and hold short to left, Neptune 9 until.
Vagar 6 Victor Alpha, there will be a Neptune 737 taxiing from right to left. Behind him, pushing start of Canadian 1017, face north please.
Oh, was that for me? I was too busy looking at chat, if it was the case. Oops.
Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, cast up tower.
Oh, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, go ahead. It's the pronunciation of
Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, traffic is now clear, so push and start is approved, facing north, QNH 1017.
Push start approved face north, QNH 1017, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. That was for you. See, it's the Scandinavian guys who are saying that was for you. I heard like Alpaca. Right, AQ bleed is on. I'll just turn him down.
So Alpaca 22 Golf, cross on. Continue via Alpha, holding point Alpha 1.
There we go. So anti-collision light is on. Transponder to transponder. There we are, transponder. And then we have the Pratt & Whitney engine, so we're all ready to go.
Yeah, no worries. And
on the very least.
Full length or are you able to start
Wake up! There we are, 50 minutes into the stream, pushing back. Jeez, it just takes that long to set this bad boy up. Right, here we go. Start engine number 2 then. So crank to A for if captain's pilot flying, and then start. Wait until 15% N2. So there's 15%. Fuel's coming in. A very good evening for Portugal. Don't forget the cargo smoke detectors. I remember them this evening. Was it you that reminded me last time? Thank you. Oh, guys, it's going to be interesting getting into Vágar later on a non-precision approach in an Airbus, which I have very little knowledge about flying. Love these external views. Very cool. Did you close the doors, guy? Have a look. Is this prepared? No one. Explain to them, buddy. Sounds on this thing are spectacular.
I got to go from which you right, clear for takeoff, 150 degrees 10 knots, after about call Copenhagen, 119
Is the
decimal.
GPU going on the bus? So, temperature, oil pressure, I guess there's a minimum required PSI for the engine start, I guess it's above the red bar.
Goodbye.
I think I'm not 100% sure when the engine's completely stabilised. It just says make sure that the initial fuel flow stabilises at 800 pounds per hour. Where is the fuel flow? Oh, I don't know. There it is. So 200 kilos now, yeah, that's fine. Should be a bit high, I think. It looks about stable anyway. Right, let's start now. Engine number
Operation complete.
1. Brake is set.
Holding point 2 to right.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Excellent. Bacon light. It's on. Someone said we're carrying Danish bacon to the to the Faroe Islands. Oops, like 50%. We don't have a name for our Danish truck driver either. awesome tug cam.
So is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
We will, thank you.
Runway 1.
Mads! Call him Jesper. Dragon's Battle, I do love how advanced the airliners are to fly, but they're terrible when it comes to learning them. At least in Microsoft Flights in 2020. Yeah, you'll be hard pushed right now to find it. As detailed or immersive an airline as you wouldn't expect them unprepared. Right, there he is. Cheers, Jasper. Bypass pin has been seen. We'll do the before taxi flow. Just make sure that engine's completely stabilised. Sounds like it's still spooling up. Yeah, let's wait a little bit longer. I don't want to stop the start process if it's still spooling up. A little bit longer to stabilise the CFMs. Good. Right, I think we'll crack on now. So, you can just switch to off. APU bleed is off. APU off. Anti-ice on. If visible moisture and below 10, yes it is. So engine anti-ice on. Wing anti-ice. Now how are we turning this on? We've got two switches. Supply. And alternate mode, we'll just put the wing anti-ice on. Now in the 737, wing anti-ice turns off automatically when you get airborne.
Hello,
so keep an eye on that. But anti-ice is required for departure. Arm the speed brake. Set the flaps for departure, so 0 and 15. So we'll see the leading edge slants extending, but the trailing edge flaps stay up. Trim set for takeoff, verify 1.6 units in our case. Whatever it was, 1.4 I think. There we go. That's it. Before taxi check is complete. We'll do the flight controls on the taxi, so turn off taxi lights are on. So we're going to request full length for 22 left, so Golf India crossing over to 22 left. And Castro Tower, Packer 6 Victor Alpha request taxi, and we'll need full length for runway 22 left.
Packer 6 Victor Alpha, Roger, take about Golf and India, hold short of runway 22 left.
Golf India, hold short 22 left, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. Right, so that's Golf India, and then hold short there, and we'll cross eventually to go to Victor. But don't enter the runway because it is active until you have that clearance. Right, parking brakes released. We're already rolling because we're a little bit lighter than we'd typically be. So clear left, clear right. And we'll do that config check. I even do that in the 300, quite in the 73. So there we are. No takeoff config warning on. There's the engine spooling up. Go to about 40% N1. Should be enough to get us moving. Lovely.
North 777 from HQ right to clear for takeoff, 15 degrees, 10 knots. After departure, contact Copenhagen approach 419, dismiss, goodbye.
Here's the next left. I'd have the wipers on in reality too, but so I don't think it's much point because there's no rain effects unfortunately. Wicked. What a beast. There we are, so next right onto India, then hold short of the runway. So I'll clear left. Nice scenery here. I fly Tampa there, I mean some of them are the best. Just turn the MCP lighting, there we go. So remember, if you have just joined the stream, we are taking the Airbus A300 from Copenhagen to the Faroe Islands, flying time around an hour and 45 minutes, hour 50. Very inclement weather, both at our point of departure and arrival. It's going to be a very interesting flight. And we are streaming live weather 12 hours behind live time. So here is the whole point. India. So we can't pass this point until we've got clearance. It'll be hard to see anyone here. It's either all brakes or no brakes. Right, parking brake is set.
6 Victor Alpha Vej India, cross runway 2 to left, right on to Victor, holding point Victor 1.
Clear cross 2 to left, and then we'll cross onto Victor 1, hold short, runway 2 to left, out back at 6 Victor Alpha. Right, parking brakes released. So when you're passing an active runway like this, very important to confirm with your first officer, in this case Jimothy, they are cleared, because there's no chance of seeing anyone here in this sort of visibility, so it's very important with Tower to make sure you have your clearance, because this is the runway in use here for landing in Copenhagen, so it's very important to make sure you get that clearance there. Right, we'll do the before takeoff checklist, so we check the configuration warning. We'll do the flight control check now, so we've got the flight controls up on the ECAM. Bring it up here. Just go to idle here, just make sure we stay on the taxi line. So first let's check the rudder, so full left and full right. That's working nicely. Aileron, full left and full right, so you've got the aileron and spoiler position, and then elevator, full up and full down. Good. So now entered onto the runway. Exited, sorry, the runway, and onto the Victor taxiway for runway 2 to left.
5 3 runway 2 to right, clear to over 212 degrees 6 knots after departure, call Copenhagen 119.8, goodbye.
We'll put 119.8 on standby because that is the airborne frequency. Got a few more checks to complete before departure. So flight controls we've checked, brakes we've checked, they are working, we've been braking quite a bit here. Auto brake to max. Weather radar can come on at this stage as well, so we'll pop on system 1 and there's a way to pick it up. Oh, I can't see where we're going. Takeoff config we've tested, and we're just waiting for our takeoff clearance. Departure is going to be the Mixie 1 Foxtrot. Climb straight ahead 2 miles. Shit, that's sitting in. 2 miles from the VOR, then we're going to make a right to Charlie Hotel 384, and then to Sorga, and then to Mixie. And stop level is flight level 70, which is set the MCP. There we are, we're at hold point Victor 1 for 2 to left. And parking brake is set. Cool, so lineup clearance will obtain, brake fans off, not required, temperature lights set. So on, strobes will pop on as well, ignition, continues as required, TCAS and TARA. You don't usually when you get lined up, and then we'll want profile and nav until we're ready for departure. Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, Victor 122 left, ready for departure. Hold short 22 left, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. So hold short, can't go anywhere because there's traffic on final, which we would see now if on the TCAS. We could cheat here. Oh, someone's just landed. Ah, look. Oh, it's a Norwegian. Oh, that's a shame. Sorry, I was a bit late there. That's why we couldn't get our lineup. But someone's just landed on Vatsim. Spacelight nose light to take off. Yep, very good. Just testing it. Well done, spaceship. Wicked. So, have a quick cheat here on this map. It's not like there's anyone on the approach, so we should get our lineup clearance shortly. And there is traffic also lining up on 22 right for departure. 2 aircraft there, and there's Norwegian. Just landed. Hey Patron, so trim wheels are like really fine controls. Well, not really. What a trimmer does, it balances out the control forces on the control column, so you don't have to make a continuous input. That's what the trimmer does. The Airbus trimmer on the A300 is just like that on a conventional 737. Yeah, it's a proper trim wheel. Whereas the A320, 319, you don't have any trim. It does trim, but you don't need to. 777, you just flew from Echo Delta November to Frankfurt in the CRJ 200 X-plane. Very cool. A380 has auto trim. I think all those modern Airbuses
Scanning 219 after departure, contact Copenhagen approach 119 destination.
So loud. Awesome. Oh, I don't know why we're not getting our line up, because there's no traffic on approach. We just have to be very patient. Hey everyone, what game is this? X-Men 11? Although some people will be concerned that you've called it a game. It's a high-fidelity, accurate simulator for commercial GA aircraft, let's say. Chris Scott, you've never seen a cargo plane like that before. You've never heard of Alpaca Airways. Based in Japan. Huge airline.
Victor Alpha, line ready to right. That's still it.
Line up and wait, runway 22 left, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. So, confirm we've been cleared to line up and wait. Affirm we have been cleared to line up and wait, said Jim. And can't see anything at all. Well, clear left. And we've already done the before taxi flow. I got that done nice and early. Ooh, a little bit of a dip here. Oh my goodness me. Oh, what is going on? Is that a scenery thing? Oh my days. Didn't even notice that.
I request clearance.
I'm not 100% sure if that's there in real life.
Again, do you still have my...
Right, we're nearly there, guys.
Should I take one again? It's 225, I can give you a new clearance if you want to. Sorry, I couldn't understand. Can you repeat, please? Is it 225? I can give you a new clearance if you want to.
Right, pointing in the right direction, just waiting for our takeoff.
If you have the clearance, it's the same, but if you need to, I can give it. East 25. If you already got clearance, then set new squawk.
Time for toga party, getting there.
025.
Speed bumps. Norsky says my tummy. Cabin secure, yeah, all the cargo is secure. Every one of the 20 tons of cargo we took. What's the flight time? An hour 45, hour 50?
Line up, waiting to right.
Don't forget the timer as well. So you can see, look, I did set that. Oops, I just actually moved the pressure. QNH. 1017. Yeah, you see, I did set that clock, but look, it's already now 10 minutes behind the time I set, so I think that's lagging in some way. So we'll refer to the clocking game.
After departure, contact on main approach 119 decimal 8. Wind is 210 degrees 6 knot, runway 22 left, clear to takeoff.
After departure, contact 119.8, runway 22 left, clear takeoff, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. Guys, you know what to do in chat. We've got our takeoff clearance near the Airbus A300. Parking brakes released. Let's start that timer as well. Look, I'm not forgetting anything today. Run 40%. And enjoy these sounds. My engine looks all stabilised. Push toga. Set takeoff thrust. Light forward pressure on the control column.
There
we are. Takeoff thrust set, indications normal. So using rudder to maintain centre line.
Easy to decide permission to start the plane pushback.
80 last checked, release that forward pressure.
Not approved, KH 1017.
V1's 162 knots. God, this runway is like a ski ramp. Such high V speeds. There we are, V1, and rotate 2 to 2.5 degrees per second. And we are airborne. Up to the flight directors. Positive climb gears coming up. And trim. What are you doing? 200 knots. There we are. So the aircraft nose should lower and allow it to accelerate, so we're already above the S. You can select flaps up. There's the climb thrust engaging at the acceleration height, which I set to 1500. Looks like it's accelerated to 250 knots. Flaps and slats are up, we'll stick in the autopilot. Set standard as we're climbing to a flight level. And turn the wing anti-ice off. We'll leave the engine anti-ice on now, and we'll do the after takeoff checklist shortly. We'll put the gear to off. I'm just going to check in with departures here 9.8. Copenhagen departures. Good evening, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, Mixie 1 Foxtrot passing 30, flight level 70.
Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, Copenhagen, approach, good evening, identified, climb flight level 190, right turn, direct to Mixie.
Climb flight level 190, direct to Mixie, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. So 190 is set, and direct to Mixie, direct, Mixie, insert. And Mixie is the active waypoint. Lovely. Right, we can now do the after takeoff checklist. So spoilers, disarm. There we are. Nose and runway turn off lights can come off.
Scandinavian 219, contact Copenhagen, control 11.375.
Anti-ice is required. Engine anti-ice is on at the moment. Ignition set to continuously light only if in severe turbulence. Packs are on. APU's off. And that's it. After takeoff checklist is complete. We're away. Low fuel warning said 368 India 70. Aircraft fuel watching, certainly not us. We have incredible 19.4 tonnes of fuel at the moment. How much fuel are we burning out?
Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, proceed direct Veldi, Victor Alpha, Lima Delta India.
Jet to Veldi, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. Oh, that's a shortcut half. Thanks, sir. Direct Veldi. Insert. Awesome, 514 miles away. Now, he's given us a shortcut which you might think, well, that's really far away, but that's actually not that unrealistic. When it's that quiet, I've once got a direct to a 10-mile final to a destination I'm not going to disclose in Japan, and it was a 650-mile shortcut to a 10-mile final, so these things can happen when it's that quiet there. Awesome. 900 people watching and 300 likes. That's an outrageous statistic, the Wiz 100. If you enjoy watching this video, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. We are 1 hour 10 minutes into the stream. We've just taken off from Copenhagen in the A300 on our way to the Faroe Islands. We turn the engine anti-ice off as well, and we can do the pre-cruise checks if we're just past 10,000 feet. So our temperature sets to standard. Retract the landing lights. That is done. Seatbelts as required, and that's it. Pre-cruise checks complete. I guess the first officer, or the pilot monitoring I should say, we're checking the pressurization system, so you can see here diff pressure is slowly increasing towards the
Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, monitor Copenhagen control 11375.
sorry, just confirm that frequency. Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha.
Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, monitor Copenhagen control 121.375.
Monitor 121.375. Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. Good evening, bye. Monitor. That's unusual. There we are. What was that frequency?
UPS 55 Tango.
Okay, well, monitor means don't check in. Go from there. Alex Bennett, are you even a real pilot? I've been fooling people for 3 years now. One day they'll find out. One day.
Scandinavian 219 at open microphone.
Mr. McSpooks, that caught me out of that sim. I wasn't used to getting direct twos.
Yeah,
I mean, very common in real life too. Nice that they look ahead at your flight plan actually to see what shortcuts you can get. It's a bit loud in here, so. Wicked.
Scandinavian 219, you have open microphone. Please check that.
Uh-oh. Listen, imagine that director all the way across the flight plan on a Garmin GPS. Have fun deleting all those waypoints individually. I remember finding the Tupolev, which has the Garmin GPS, and apparently, and very realistically, I should say as well, because I've seen a picture of a Tupolev Tu-15 with a Garmin GPS inserted, and I couldn't remember how to work this thing at all. I could just about fly the Tupolev, but when it came to the Western-based GPS system, which you find in all the light aircraft available these days, didn't have a clue. Smash, do you recommend anything to study up on before going to the sim? I'm guessing that's not your 6-month sim check you're talking about here. I mean, there's all sorts of great resources out there. Smash, I mean, YouTube's a good sign. You know, I have a few tutorials, albeit more for the advanced tuition simmer, I'd say. But if you're into more basic stuff, there's some great videos out there online. It depends what you want to do. And TSL, look at that climb rate. I know Airbus got plenty of them, but not too unusual.
Euro chance 31 kilo, Copenhagen control.
A question someone asked recently in the stream was, what's the typical climb rates? You know, when you're emptying, we can get up to 41,000 feet to 738, 14-15 minutes after departure. Oh, Smash, no, a real 737 simulator. Is that your sim check or just like one of those experiences, Smash? If it's one of those experiences again, hold on. Oh yeah, we're cleared to 190, that's right. Well, I'm going to have to nudge because he said he told me to monitor this frequency, but usually if you're told to monitor frequency and no one says anything to them, you just call your call sign. And sent Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha.
Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, go ahead.
We've just checked in, we've been at flight level 90 for a while, request further climb please.
Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, sorry my mistake, climb flight level 360.
Climb flight level 360, no problem, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. Cool, so I guess he didn't realise what they usually do, they hand you over and then you check in, but didn't know it here. Anyway, 360 set, I think you push profile again? Yes. And then it climbs further. Don't do that in the VNAV on the 737, just disconnect VNAV.
57 Alpha is with you, flight level 340.
How's the volume? Is the aircraft very loud, guys? I think the aircraft can be very loud.
KLM 57 Alpha, Copenhagen control, good evening, identified, cleared inbound Copenhagen, to correction test, between Foxtrot arrival, landing runway 2.
Moban, new does monitor imply frequency change approved. Yeah, so if you're told to monitor frequency, you tune up that frequency, make it your active frequency, but you don't check in. Very common at airports, so when they transfer you from ground to tower, they'll tell you to monitor tower, and then they'll call you, and they'll just simply go, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, line up and wait, and you say, yeah, line up and wait. Not that common on en route frequencies, I've not seen it before. And if that's the case, they know you're coming. Now, if you ever get to that situation where you're told to monitor frequency, you check in and they don't come to you, like what happened with us, just give them a nudge, just give them your call sign, so like I did Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. Oh yes, sorry, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha, so cleared direct or climb this or something. ATC is a tad out, everything else good, thanks guys. Ah, there was a controller switch, hence the monitor. That could explain it. Oh, Smadge, yeah, it's 737-800.
Golf monitor Unicom 122.8 flight.
I did my first flight with Zebo the other day. Ah, really cool, Smadge. Sounds good. Yeah, there's some great simulator experiences you can have there from kind of like these home-built sims. They're quite good. Enjoy. You also said earlier, Smadge, oh no, he's flying the A300. What are you trying to imply there? Did you not see the last, our inaugural Airbus A300 live stream? We did our third ever best butter. That's what I've been told. And -35. Don't look at the second landing. There's nothing to see on that one. There we are. Well, we already got our direct, which is why we're not routing direct to Mixing. We'll close all the charts now. Not needed at this stage.
KLM 57 Alpha, proceed direct.
And his rest of our routing, so leaving Denmark, just heading over southern Norway, we've flying pretty much over Stavanger, just north of the Shetland Islands, and then we actually enter oceanic airspace here. This is our destination, guys, the Faroe Islands, in between the UK and Iceland. We have been here once before.
Alpaca 22 Golf monitor Unicom 122.8, have a safe flight to Vágar.
Unicom 122.8.
It's virtual aerospace one, very cool Smash. Coleman B, how do you calculate your top percent? You may have answered, but I couldn't hear you. Use Coleman B, the 3 times table. It's the only one you need to know. But I also have a useful tutorial for you. Well, it's more to do with how to recover from a high energy descent. I'll find the link for you.
With the 39 Charlie Copenhagen control, good evening. Identified.
Oh, I can even hear my own voice.
Proceed direct to Veldi. Victor Alpha Lima Delta India.
He's got a direct to Vaudi. I guess he's coming to the...
and I will send your details here with the
There you go, check that link out if you want to learn a bit about descent planning, descent management, and how to recover from a high energy approach. That's one of my earliest tutorials there. Echo Mike November 1 is an offset ILS approach. I've not seen too many offset ILS approaches. We're flying an offset localiser approach. I think you can get offset ILSs, but essentially it's not an approach not aligned with the runway centre line. Now we'll quickly show this chart, and again if you're still around here later, in an hour's time we'll be briefing this. This is the approach we're going to be flying here. So the runway direction you can see here is like this, and most approaches obviously are straight in, but they can't build a straight in approach because that'll put you into a mountain. So in this case it is offset to the runway centre line by 14 degrees, and you're not to use localiser outside 10 degrees of the approach course, otherwise you'll be in a mountain. So they've bent it, and you'll see here the localiser transmitter is nowhere near the threshold, but you see it's actually offset to the north of the runway here, and the idea is it takes you to a point where you disconnect and then hand fly or visually fly to the runway. Now it's going to be very interesting.
757 Alpha is ready to descend here.
It's going to be very interesting later with the weather, because the weather forecast right now is right on minimums. Right on minimums.
790
In fact, it's about 200 feet. The cloud base is 200 feet above the minimum, so it could be very interesting. I did test this sector. I don't know if it's something I'm doing, but essentially the profile mode or VNAV mode in descent wasn't flying the profile accurate as well, so I'm actually going to be using vertical speed, which is a second way of flying a non-precision approach. We can also do that in 737, and we'll be relying on the altitude distance cross-checking to ensure we're at the correct height and the correct distance there. Dragon's Battle, in the future could you do a 727-200 flight? I do really enjoy that aircraft. The Dragon's Battle, we'll do more. I've done plenty already, and it is one of my favourite aircraft in X-Plane 11, the FlyJ Sim. I have a playlist which has all the FlyJ Sim aircraft streams I've done, so if you look on my YouTube homepage, press playlist and look for a playlist called, there's only about 15 playlists or so, take a look at the FlyJ Sim playlist. Try and find it here. I've done 12 streams in FlyJ Sim aircraft, that's super cool. I'm sharing all the love today. There you go. Just for you, Oliver Harrison, check out this link here. We've done about 4 or 5 flights, I think, in the 727. Jugo Vugo is gusting 38 knots in Vagar, easy butter. We'll see, it's horrible there. Jamlin, it's been a while since you did the Flight Factor 757, maybe also the Tupolev stream soon. I know, we've got one Tupolev in Duxford. Yeah, the Flight Factor I think I'll pull out the hang. I might do a flight in the US in the Flight Factor 757, because I think they've updated it recently.
Oscar Echo Sierra, turn right, heading 704.
Pilot Chops, what's your favourite plane? Of course, 73. And I'm not saying that because I fly that, I genuinely love it here. Cool, blimey, look at the climb. Look at that. That's very impressive up here. That's, I mean, yeah, 4,000 feet per minute at 34,000 feet there. I think it's because we're probably going to the reason we're climbing fast is that our target speed, which I believe is this blue line, is slower, so it could be due to the fact that the tailwinds increase, but it should be the other way around. But that's why the rate of climb is so high, is because our target speed is slightly below our actual speed, so the aircraft's pitching to maintain that. In fact, it should just about level off at 360. Here comes our cruise level.
Good evening, identified, proceed PPEX.
How many variants of the 737 flown? 700 and the 800. I've flown both.
EC225, contact Sweden control, frequency 118.4,
Domino Mosini, you have a message on the
safe landing.
FMC. No displayed nav aid. I think that's, that was a little message light, wasn't it? It's gone out there. Yes. Don't know what that means. Hopefully nothing serious. Otherwise, here we are. We've reached our cruise level at 36,000 feet. Nathan, you need to dust the instruments, take pride in the fleet. You're a little bit grubby, aren't they? Yeah, someone commented last stream, who had the white paint out. Love it. So cool. Apart from that, it's a very new cockpit. I should think the A300s are a lot tattier than this.
High speed approved, turn right heading 030.
Thanks, high speed approved, right 030.
Mark Dyson, great flight again. Thanks a lot, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Jonathan Wiltshire, what is the IRS? What does it do, and why does it need flying?
053, contact
IRS is the inertial reference system. It's basically a self-contained system where it uses gyroscopes and accelerometers to work out your position. It's completely internal, doesn't rely on any external sources, apart from you telling it where are you. So you basically tell an ILS and IRS we're here, and then aligns to the Earth's rotation, its position, and then work out where you are. And with that, it's very accurate. You can calculate your things like your ground speed, your track, your heading, your magnetic heading. It's a very clever system. So in a nutshell, that's what it is. And the aircraft systems really rely a lot of information from the IRS as well. Even on the 7.3, for example, the autopilot, a lot of systems positioning off from there. If you lose an IRS, it's a bit of a headache. You have two, you can use one as a backup still, but it's a bit of a headache. Quite a long checklist to complete. Never had IRS failure. A very expensive GPS. Yeah, GPS is more accurate, obviously, but it's the beauty of it is you don't need GPS. Thanks, Andy, for getting the weather for Vagar. So wind is 130 at 23, gusting 38, 6,000 metres rain. The minima is above the ground because the altitude of the clouds, he says, is overcast 800. On a METAR, the height is of the cloud is the height above ground level. Now the minimum for this approach is 900, but the height above the ground at the minimum is basically the elevation. I think it's about 500 feet. So long as the cloud base is above that, we should be okay. But it's the RVR that's of concern because that's the limiting factor whether we can fly the approach. I think the RVR we need for this approach is about 2,500 metres, so you can see it's looking pretty clever. Paul F, thank you very much. I can see you're tidying up the chat. Thanks a lot, buddy, and I hope you're doing well. Thanks for still all the moderators for keeping it nice and clean. Pilot Chop's really nice stream. Thanks, buddy. Well, I'll show you where we're going then, where we are. Of course, I have lots of lovely Ortho 4XP for the sector. Not much that you can really see. Let's turn the volume up before we jump outside, otherwise you'll get deafened. There you go. No, there's a nice little bit of Denmark. Not much left of it though. We're right over the top of Aalborg. I don't know if anyone in here is from Aalborg. And we're approaching the initial Norwegian, the Skagerrak Sea. There we are, and then we'll be flying right over the top of Stavanger later as well. Echo might know what is a LEAP engine. Well, it's the new engine from CFM, which powers the Max and the 320 Neo. Andres, so what are we doing for the cruise speed today? We have a 40 knot tailwind up at 530, we are at Costa X5, which is giving us a much more reasonable speed. I think Costa X30 and the A300 is a bit fast. Decimal 77 at 360 here, and we also have about a 40 knot tailwind, 33 knots. Cruising on very nicely here. Great flight so far. Awesome. Yeah, it's going to be. I can't wait to fly this approach into Vágar because it's first time I've flown a non-precision approach in an aircraft which isn't the Zebo model or a Boeing. I've done a few in the FlyJ sim aircraft, but. Oh no, that's a lie. We did a stream once in the Tolis A319 into Innsbruck and we did a non-precision approach. That actually worked. I need to bring the 319 out for a spin soon, the Tolis one. That'll be a laugh. Tobias, are you watching the SpaceX Crew 1 launch of the weekend? Now, is that on the day of the Cross the Pond? I wouldn't know if I'm allowed to. I'd love to watch that with you guys if that's at the same time as the flight, but I don't know. Is that allowed on YouTube? Can I stream and display it on a stream? I don't know. That'd be so cool if the I don't know what the time the launch is. I know it's this weekend, I think, but I don't know what the time is. PW, hi, I'm a new subscriber. It's the degenerate squirrel here. Can you please explain QNH, please, in layman's terms? Thank you. Oh, cheers, PW. QNH is just the atmospheric pressure, or the local atmospheric pressure at the aerodrome, and it's a point-based. Your altimeter is reference to that when you're flying a flight level. And the reason we use a pressure setting is kind of universal. So it essentially, if you have the KNH set at an airport, when you're at the airport, the altimeter shows you the elevation of that airport. Something called QFE you can set, which means it reaches sea level. But it's standard of which all aviation altimeters are based off flying below something called the transition altitude. Listen to me now, which hour begins your cross the pond flight? The stream will start. I need to look at, I can't remember what my flight was now. It'll be around 11 AM UK time I'll start. So I'm not disclosing the route just yet because I don't want anyone. Well, a word of caution. VATSIM have said you can't control it, but they have requested anyone that's not attending cross the pond, feel free to use the VATSIM network, but please avoid airports involved in the cross the pond event because it'll be so busy. Secondly, as well, they said no crossing the Atlantic as well if they can be avoided. But you know, they can't stop you. It's just a polite request from them. So again, airing that message because I know a lot of people who watch my streams like to join the flights, and for that reason, I'm not actually going to announce the route until just before the stream starts.
For some reason, I don't have the waypoint ACB in my FMC, so request.
Game a bit high. Do you respond to comments? Yes. In the cruise especially, we have a lot more time. Or log in as an observer, exactly.
Oh no, sorry, I can put it in.
Yeah, ETS is a bit loud. Yeah, the problem is with that.
Candidate extraction KLM 57 no problem. Alpha Bravo Echo Golf India.
Alpha Bravo Golf.
Some people like to have the microphone in their mouth, which doesn't happen with this guy. But I can turn it down further.
Oscar Echo Sierra, contact Castro. Have a safe landing.
There we go, so it should be better now.
Okay, so that one more time for KLM 579 for the
That guy, you
waypoint.
can look at his volume compared to the controller. It's so loud, you can hear the distortion as well. Now I don't know if you guys use Xpilot as your client X-Plane, but every time I launch Xpilot, the volumes in the settings reset, so I have to change them manually. But it should be much better now. Jonathan Bush, yeah, ETC has to be loud so we can tell flight decks when he missed a message. Exactly. Harry, when I do transatlantic flights, I normally sleep or study or watch a movie. Now, generally, I avoid long flights because you guys want to see takeoffs and landings primarily. But obviously, cross the pond is such an epic one there. And I will, during that stream, I am going to stream the entire flight, but at some point over the Atlantic,
40,
I will take a
30,
kind of a long break,
20,
maybe an hour or so,
10.
just to stretch my legs and get around a bit. But we'll have lots of activities for the cruise.
If you add A300 and Boeing 737, you get this right. Had to don't know when I catch you livers, that's my normal lol.
Oh, Dyson Bart, it's very generous of you. You've come in with some crazy donations, Bart, so thanks a lot, buddy, and I hope you're doing well. If you add the A300 and Boeing 737, you get this right. Or so, I think if you get an A319 and a Boeing 737, sort of like this, but you can add those two, it is very much like this aircraft. It is the most Boeing Airbus there ever will be. But thank you very much.
6 Victor Alpha, shortening my airspace. Polar result offline, Mont Unicom 1-2.8. Good luck in Vagar. It's looking grim.
Thank you very much. Unicom 122.8 Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. Might have to divert. I'll see you again shortly. Bye. Oh, wicked. I love those little messages from these guys. Wicked. So over to Unicom. And there we are. Cool. So when I'm actually on Unicom, I actually turn the volume very low, so you can't hear it, but I can hear it, just because you get some idiots sometimes. Dragon Battle, I'll be signing off now. Have a good night, everyone. Thanks a lot for coming in, Dragon Battle, and enjoy the rest of your evening. Enforce 5 A300 is the best Boeing Airbus ever made. Fantastic. So yes, long haul. The flight we're going to be doing is around 7 hours, a little bit shorter than our, well, actually both shorter than that. We're doing quite a short sector, one of the shortest ones available for cross the pond, which I did request, and the time I requested to, because I'm actually working on Sunday. But we'll be doing our quiz. We haven't had a quiz in a very long time, so Chris Hawkins has been the champion for well over a month now. I haven't been able to stream on a Sunday for ages, and I can't this weekend either because I'm working. But every Sunday that's gone for the last 4 weeks, I've either been working or had something on. But we are on the Cross the Pond, which will be on Saturday, starting the stream in the morning around, I think it's 11 o'clock. We'll be doing the quiz, there'll be giveaways, we're going to do a couple of merchandise giveaways. I might even give away, I'll be flying the Zebo mod, but I might do another giveaway of some sorts or something, but we're going to do, we'll have some fun. I'm going to see if we can do some other games as well. I don't know if Steam, I haven't tried it, I'm going to try it after this stream actually. See if I can fire up another game in Steam so we can do something in Cruise. Yeah, we'll have some fun, guys, and I'll take an hour break in the middle, probably 6-hour flights, so probably at the 2.5 hour mark I'll take an hour break, and we'll go from there. It'll be a lot of fun, guys. Thanks for subscribing at Diogenes Jose, thank you very much. Hugo Vigo, my new member, do you think you'll be diverting this year? Is that for Cross the Pond or this flight or in real life, Hugo Vigo? Regarding Cross the Pond and real life, don't think we'll need to divert, never know what happens. Today, possibly, with the weather. Oh no, you won't be able to watch the Istanbul GP on Sunday. I won't, Ugo, I'll be at work. I'll be halfway to the Canary Islands. Sim 737 pilot, love you going to, love you doing the Cross the Pond streams. I'll be on early morning though. Yeah, I guess you're US, aren't you, Sim 737 pilot? Freckles, did you add the code alpaca thing tonight? But I need to double check if that one's still valid, Freckles, because I think that's only valid for us guys, okay? 2 tons of love. We'll be up at 5 AM prepping for my Cross the Pond flight out of Atlanta. Awesome, 2 tons of love. Now what I'll do tomorrow to all the other members as well, I like to do some bits on Discord. I'm gonna test the sector tomorrow, make sure it's all working. I'll stream various parts of the flight as well. I think it was Moen that made the scenery as well work, which is great. But I'll talk you through my planning process. I'll probably ask Mike a few things as well, because we'll be doing Cross the Pond, but I must forewarn you all, I have no experience with North Atlantic high-level airspace or oceanic flying. We only fly very limited oceanic flying at my operated kind of Canary Islands, and even then I've not done any of that. So my knowledge is very much based off the kind of official oceanic guides. Vatsum actually is a very good source for that information, albeit non-official, but I'll do my absolute best there. And I know Vatsum are now launching a new system on the day of the Cross the Pond as well. Whereas previously HF was the primary way of getting your clearance, and it still is at many operators, but for North Atlantic Ops everyone has ACARS or CPDLC now. It's very rare for you to get your clearance on HF, and we don't really simulate HF on that sim anyway, so I think they're launching a new client now where everything will be able to be done through a kind of simulated ACARS or CPDLC system. So there's actually no requirement for you to request or get your oceanic clearance on voice, I believe, but we'll see on the day when we do the Cross the Pond, and I'll try and bring that overlay up so you can see me requesting the clearance at least on the simulated system, which would be quite cool. Captain Monson requests a cabin tour, and who else was it as well? G-Face 100 too. Let's have a look around the excellent iniBuilds Airbus A300. Just have a look on the ATC situation as well. Be quite interested to see if anyone else is joining us to the Faroe Islands, because we might have to go offline because, oh my goodness, there's loads of people going to Vágar. That could get very interesting because there's only one runway available and you have to backtrack. There's quite a few people going. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Someone behind me as well. 7. Oh, someone's going to Iceland. Yeah, right. Let's have a look around the cockpit here. So obviously, it's at the captain's seat. Ashtray, like you get the 7.3. Tiller, lights, oxygen systems down here. You got lighting controls as well for the instruments. Very 737E. Prime flight controls, engine instruments, FMCs, MCP. The overhead panel is an absolute maze and myriad of buttons and switches, most of which I have a sort of very basic understanding of how it works. So it is the perfect merge between Boeing and Airbus, this aircraft. Circuit breaker panel, you've got some additional controls and gauges. I've heard the A300, the flight deck obviously bigger than a 7.3, but not as big or as roomier as the new Airbuses. I think the Airbus A320 and 319 is quite roomy too. let's go into the cargo cabin. Ah yes, everyone's favourite, the toilet. We have a toilet available. Oh, you can get a clunking door. So here's the main entry here. Now all these buttons work. You can control the cargo door, you can control the lighting in here. So there you go, cargo compartment area, it all works here. Got 6 jump seats. So we pull the net back, or jump through this hole, you can see our shipment. We've got our 6 crates on board, or more, of, what was it, Danish bacon? And what do you get, what do you call those Hawaiian hula girls that you get on dashboards of cars? That's what we're carrying today. 2 cargo holds. I don't know if you'll see it here. Yeah, we've got a lower, we're in the lower cargo hold now as well, so we've got, I don't know what we're carrying underneath the aircraft today. So yeah, it's a mighty fine cargo aircraft still in use today. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Alpaca Cargo for all your logistical requirements and needs. Looks like a consignment of chicken. Brett, does the toilet flush is the question. I don't think so, I've already tested it. The overhead panel will never look 737-y. No, not at all. And Nathan, look, we've all got the switches, lights and knobs, everything's blinking and flashing, and I can't take it anymore. Watched airplane too many times. Is that a quote from there, Nathan Novak? It's been about 15 years since I've seen that film. But no bunk beds, dislike. Alpaca Cargo. Rats. Guys, my goodness. Almost 500 knots ground speed, yeah. Not too bad a tailwind. Excellent progress here. Let's actually have a little look here. Well, remember the sim is running 2 minutes behind what I wanted, but 12. So essentially we're 12 hours behind live time. It's 21:41 UTC with 9:40 in the sim. So at least the time in the FMC and everything is accurate. Let's have a little look at our ETA if I can work it out. So it's 510 miles till our destination. So our top of descent should be less than an hour now. Slightly above our optimum. You can see what the that's what the VORs are tuned to here. Now, how do I get the ETA? Is it flight plan? Ah, they're here now. So yeah, we're approaching. That's the short final approach at 10:59. So an hour and 20 minutes from now, we should be touching down in Vágar, and top of descent should be in about an hour or so. Chris Scott, flight deck sim, whatever you do, don't flush the toilet on the A300 aircraft, because when on the Concorde something strange happens. Didn't we do that on the Concorde? Didn't we flush the toilet? No, I don't know. Crewmel 322, hey Captain, is there any reason you chose flying civilian, flying cargo for the Royal Air Force? Or why did I choose that? Well, Crewmel 322, when you finish flight training on a non-sponsored scheme, which like I did, you'll take any job that was going. So if I was offered a cargo flying job, or I would never want to join the military. That's just a personal choice for me, because that's the only way you get to fly for the Air Force as well, of course. But when I was thinking of Royal Air Force, I think of the Royal Family. If you want to fly for the Royal Family, you have to fly for the Air Force, but that wasn't your question. But no, I just took any job that was going, and I was very fortunate to get a job within 6-7 months of finishing my flight training. Right, an hour 40. Right, guys. We'll take a quick intermission here whilst the cruise is on. Stretch my legs for about 4 or 5 minutes. I'll stick you in the outside view. I haven't got a custom emoji yet for the sellotape reel, but I will be using the sellotape reel for the padding. And guys, I hope you're enjoying the stream so far. And if you haven't done so already, smash the thumbs up button. 467 likes, that's wicked. So we'll see if we can get up to 500 likes by the time I get back, and I'll see you all in about 5 minutes or so. Thanks a lot, guys. I'll see you shortly.
$50, $40,
just before
$30,
I go, because I was just about to jump up. Thank you very much, Ikri. 002 for that donation. Purchase A300 its autopilot needs some getting used to, but we'll get there, don't worry. Noted the 300 has a restroom, but honestly, Captain, nothing beats supersonic toilets. Speed bagger rules the waves. Thank you very much, Crew 002. I hope you used advantage of the discount code we got for the members, so thank you very much for that, and I'm glad you joined the A300s. And guys, yeah, thank you very much. I'll see you all shortly. Love that comment list to me. It makes me want to build a house for my Sims. I remember the classic music in that game. Outstanding. Cheers. Thanks a lot for that, guys. Feeling much better, much refreshed. Marion is still around, which is good. I have to be so careful. My partner is, everyone knows who Marion is a regular streamer. She's completely deaf at the moment due to ear infection in both ears. Self-inflicted by whacking a Q-tip up there. Oh no. But she's all good. Is it worthwhile becoming a member? This has been said you'll get to the part of our Discord server which lots of professionals and talented people hang out with, and occasional group flights where we obliterate some TTC. Yeah, the membership is, I mean, the perks are the custom emojis in chat, which obviously we're streaming quite a lot, so you can enjoy those, but the main beef of that is the Discord, which is exclusively for only members. You've got the ability to talk to myself, DM me directly. It's my primary reference. I do still use social media such as Facebook, Twitter and Instagram, but it is hard to manage all the messages I get on that. But priority is always given to anyone on Discord. I do stream there occasionally as well, especially when I'm testing, answering any questions. I've got a good friend of mine that helps me with it too, and lots of other real world pilots too, which are also members, but they also spend their time answering many questions, which I'm also very grateful for. How does he get the camera to rotate like that, said Pedro Diaz, with a sellotape reel on the arrow key. Aggie, where can I find all the alpaca liveries? I always link it on the stream, so if you ever watch any of the streams I've done in the past, and look at the, I don't put the link in the video description, but if you look at the chat, you'll frequently find people that ping for the request in command by using the command !mark livery, and you can grab the link there. I only put the links in to the interactive map and towards the Streamlabs link, so that's the only links I have there. Who said that's us? Yeah, James, the piano. Was there a piano playing on the background music? That's pretty cool. Thank you very much to Nathan Novak, who's just joined as a member. I've clearly sold it to him. Thank you very much. Welcome aboard. Glad you're enjoying the content. You'll get to enjoy your custom emojis in chat. Most importantly, enjoy our members only Discord, which is a thriving station, everything aviation. There you go. I should have become a rapper. Thank you very much, buddy. And look forward to chatting with you in Discord there. Thanks a lot. And to everyone that's joined as a member today, we had 3 members join. If you want to join our Discord, the invite, how it works, it synchronises your YouTube account with Discord, so you have to have Discord. Go on Google, type in YouTube Discord synchronization, follow the steps there. Make sure you use Discord in a web browser for this step as well, and not the desktop app or the mobile app, otherwise it won't work, and that will get you invited. Aaron Borson, how many other real pilots do YouTube? There's quite a few. You've got V1 Simulations, who's been doing it a little bit longer. There's a new guy starting called 320 Sim Pilot as well. They're the main 2. I don't know any others. There's a few on Twitch now, I know, but I don't watch Twitch. And also, I've noticed there's loads more content from real pilots, but everyone's on furlough. No one's flying around the world, so I think they're looking for new way of doing it, but I like to think that I was one of the first on YouTube, at least. Anyway, one of the first to stream on YouTube. There's loads of good guys there. The V1 Simulations I've spoken to for he was streaming today. He did a stream beforehand. Actually, someone told me, and I delayed the start of that stream, so I don't want to ever conflict with the other guys where possible and stuff. But we all have our own ways of doing it, and my streams are always able to be
50, 40, 30.
Well, firstly,
20,
thank you
10.
very much, Fearless7331 again. Very much sold by me selling the membership, so you'll get invited to our members only Discord as well, and I hope you find that enjoyable too. Thank you very much, and thank you very much to Matsy for the €5 with what can only describe as a pear with a face band on, saying how's it going whilst laying down. Thanks a lot, Matsy, €5, and great, everything's great. Thanks a lot. I don't understand these little. I don't know how you do it. Different fruits come up sometimes. Have you seen 320 Simpilot? I have. I mean, V1 Simulations I've heard of before, and I think 320 Simpilot started streaming quite recently. But I've not spoken to him. I have spoken to V1 Sim. Aaron Borson, I'm fascinated by your videos. I'm not a member, but love the banter. I was watching CW Lemoyne. He uses Zebo 2. I have heard of that guy. He's an ex-fighter pilot, isn't he? I didn't know he used the Zebo mod though. He did someone shared a link in Discord, it was a book or something. I don't know. But yeah, there's loads of guys doing stuff there. And like I said, if you're just a regular subscriber as well, you know, I do try. I mean, I just think now, well, I'll tell you right now on Instagram, just to put it in perspective, if you've ever messaged me, Facebook and Instagram are requested. I have to approve the request. I currently have on Instagram 215 requests for messages. I mean, that puts it in perspective. Now, annoyingly, if anyone on I post stories with my streams and post some pictures from work as well. And if you leave an emoji with that story, it also generates a message. So it's mixed in here, some genuine messages. I have 215 non-read messages now. Emails, I tried the emails. I'm a little bit better at responding, but I've still sat on loads I've not responded to. I do try my best. 2 tons of love, 500 likes achieved. Yes, I did say. Hopefully by the time I got back on my break, but that's great, guys. Thank you very much. Doing a shared cockpit with Pilot Mike would make an A stream. Also, don't forget the incapacitated pilot scenario promise. Yes, that is something there. When Mariana's ears get better, we're going to do that one. And I bet probably in 6 months' time you're going to be another knock. But I haven't done that yet. But that's something we've been planning where we simulate I'm incapacitated in the mod. I'm going to stick Mariana in here. And I'm going to work as like ATC. Or get it set up where you can hear my voice. I'll be telling her what to do, as will perhaps happen in real life. We'll go from there. Aaron Borson, do you think flights in 2020 will ever get to the level of X-Plane or PMDG? Was it? Yeah, I think so, Aaron. That sim is still in its infancy, but I think in time we're going to have some cracking pay-aware aircraft available. We know how fantastic it looks. You know, I look at all the streams I've done. The sim looks incredible. If you couldn't fly the 737, what would you fly? Said Flaps 40. I'd love to have a go on a wide-body jet, but I wouldn't be so excited with the long-haul travel being away from home for significant periods of time. Ash Spears, great flight tonight, Captain. Off to bed now for my 4 seconds tomorrow night. Is that you, Ash, my colleague, Ash? I don't know, possibly. Good evening if it is. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Regardless. It looks real. Yeah, the sim is good. X11 looks great. And, I mean, I've got the Active Sky cloud textures and just a few plugins, but X-Plane is a very accessible sim. They all are, to be fair, but I mean, if you just want to fly the ZeboMod 737, which is completely free, remember, what you need to do is purchase X-Plane 11, ZeboMod 737, at a bare minimum, you can fly around realistically then. There are some absolute musts I'd advise getting if you want to fly realistically. Active Sky X-Plane, very, what's the word I'm looking for? It's a necessity in the sim. The default weather in X-Plane is questionable, especially when it comes to winds and gusts, so Active Sky is a plugin which takes real-world METARs and data and plugs it into the sim. It makes it a lot more realistic. It's an absolute must. Navigraph charts I'd recommend too. It is a monthly subscription, but it is a reasonable price for what you're getting, which is real world charts essentially. That's one I'd recommend as well. On a bare minimum, those is. But the great thing about X-Plane, and I hope Microsoft Flight Simulator follows suit with this, the amount of free stuff that's available there, which really enhances the sim, is incredible. Be it plugins like this one, for example, which is Avitab, which allows you to access charts, PDF documents, links your Navigraph subscription. It's a must as well. The amount of scenery that's available, I'm sure you all heard of TDG. I mean, some of them are fantastic. There's another guy called Mr. 6X. They're payware quality, some of this stuff. It really is a great, there's great hub and access to some great stuff that's completely free. There is also payware stuff, which is obviously very good too. But, you've got it all there. Borson, have you ever done a My Gear video on your sim, like PC specs and setup? I think that would be interesting. I'm sure others would be. Yeah, I might do that. So I'm sure a lot of you would like to see what I use and stuff. Brad Darrow, how do you like the new flight model in the Zebo? I was watching SkyMatrix testing live Zebo and Tim the other night. Amazing progress. Love Zebo's tweaks to auto. Hey Brad, have you got the link to that? I'd like to watch that video. I didn't know Tim was streaming. That'd be really cool to have seen that. Yeah, we streamed the latest one a couple of days ago on Tuesday, and yeah, I mean the flight model, I couldn't really notice much had changed, but I haven't really given some in-depth testing. But I did provide Zebo some feedback on. We had a few issues on that flight. The main one was it had recently added, and I didn't realise that on the 737 FMC. VNAV behaves in different ways depending on where you start your top of descent. If you initiate it more than 50 miles from top of descent and do a cruise descent, if you do it within 50 miles top of descent, it'll do the normal active descent phase. And I hadn't realised that had been implemented, but the way it had been implemented for the one for the cruise descent wasn't quite correct, and we were getting some guidance on VNAV which showed us as 10,000 feet high. That shouldn't have displayed at that time. We also had a rapid depressurisation, thankfully below 10,000 feet, which we haven't got down to the bottom of whether that was a Zebo thing or an X-Plane thing, but that happened. There's all sorts of things there, but overall we're a fantastic aircraft you have access to. Sky, I've not heard of SkyMatrix breakdown. Did you have to drop me a link in Discord? Just watched the Zurich's. I just received the Zurich scenery, and as I landed there, I could barely see taxi lines in the fog. Yeah, I think this time of year you get a lot of fog in Switzerland and Austria and other part of the world. Benny's, what's the missing link between the company sims and the ones you can purchase apart from the hardware, obviously? Well, a full motion level D-simulator, Bentley's, I mean, it has a bank of computers. I mean, the ones we use at work are no longer instructing, but there's a myriad of PCs and computers. I mean, it's one computer to control just the flight model aspect of things, one to control various aspects of the systems. And it uses actual data purchased from the aircraft provider as well, and that's why they cost, apart from the fact on hydraulic jacks, but they're upwards of 5-6 million to use one of these, but they are on a whole different scale. Desktop sims are brilliant, don't get me wrong, they've improved a lot, but they'll never fully match that sensation, but they're very close now. I mean, it's certainly accurate enough for me to replicate real world procedures and SOPs. What order brake setting we use at Vagar, said James Mozart. I'm going to go medium. Testing it seemed okay anyway. Probably if I was doing it in real life I'd go max, but it's not the longest. Guillermo, what's your opinion about Zebo 344? I've experienced some FPS issues. Yeah, someone said that last stream, but I've had none, Guillermo Diaz. If you look at the last stream we did, which was half Zebo, half Microsoft Flight Simulator, the first half, in the Zebo model I was getting very good performance. Have you considered doing cargo piloting? I assume that the world is the busiest right now with flying cargo. Yeah, I mean, Aaron Borson, I mean, that's not been affected by the pandemic, and frequently asked at the moment, you know, what's my situation like with my employment at the moment? As far as we can tell, it's safe. I've had to go part-time for the winter, and that will happen until the early summer. A lot of people have been made redundant, lost their jobs, friends of mine, guys with a lot of experience as well. We've talked about it a lot recently in streams, how is the job market looking. It's fair to say it's diabolical, but things will improve. There's more positive news coming out, I guess, about vaccines for COVID and stuff, and I hope that we're streaming in a year's time and we can go, guy, remember that coronavirus? What a load of hoo-ha that was. I really hope so, guys. And just simming and real, you know, simming aside, we just want to get on our lives, but I respect why we're in the UK lockdown again, and I'm not going to turn this into a political sort of stream where we can all debate certain things, but I respect, and I've seen horrible videos where people have had COVID-19 or still have COVID-19 and what it's doing to them as a real form, so we'll see. Winds at Vagar, yeah, I think they're gusting up to 38 knots or something, James, really strong. Wicked. So, actually something that's worthwhile putting out here. I don't have Navigraph open at the moment. Let's grab Navigraph, because I think we're about to enter some oceanic airspace here. There's no ATC whatsoever on VATSIM at the moment. Uh-oh. I just got a message from X-Plane. RSL asset error, possibly out of range vector. Please report to Laminar Research. Don't tell me that's crashed the sim. Oh no. Where do we even start? That is just ridiculous. That happened when I opened the map, the iOS map. That's the second time that's happened in the last week. Right. Well, I'm not going to end it here, guys. Oh, it's just unbelievable. Right, let me just start by sending the airport. Yeah, let me just do that. Was that linked to Navigraph opening? Because I opened Navigraph, but it was actually as soon as I opened the iOS map that happened. Unbelievable. I can't believe that. That's just... Aberdeen to the islands a bit too far by the time I get it all set up. Well... Yeah, I think what I'll do, if I go engines running, but then I can't set up the A300 correctly because if the engines are running, I can't set up the FMC. What are we going to do here? I want to go to Vagar. I want to get into Vagar tonight to fly that approach in real weather. I just can't believe that. Breathe. What could we do here? Right, let's go. What do you reckon, guys? I want to go to Vagar tonight. Let's go from... we could go from Iceland, Harry. Yeah, that's not too far, but it is. It's just as long a flight time. It's an hour from anywhere. That's the problem with the Vagar. It's in the middle of nowhere. Right, I've been streaming for 2 hours, 7 minutes. What I'm going to do, I'm actually going to load up in Vagar. And what I'll do, I'll take off from Vagar, and then we'll do the approach into there, just because of the time. We're coming up to 10 o'clock here. By the time I get the aircraft set up, that's going to be 30 minutes. The flight time's going to be an hour. We're going to be pushing on to midnight here in the UK. Jamming in Manchester. I'm online, a bit too far. Just before that, I want to grab the error report before I open. Explain again so I can actually get down to the bottom of that is. But that was linked to me pushing the I button to bring up iOS, and Streamlabs I opened, and Navigraph charts I opened at the same time as well. So I don't know which one it was that triggered that crash. I want to know so I don't do it again. I've opened up and closed Navigraph so many times during streams before, I doubt it's that. God damn it. Right, copy the log. Anyway, yeah, what I'm going to do, Inverness to Vagar, what's the flight time going to be? You could speed up the sim from somewhere and slow it down. It breaks it mode. I've done that before. It always crashes the sim. I'm checking the log text now. What I'll do, then I'll throw you guys to the right back screen. I'll have a look at the text as well. The application has crashed then. The last thing that happened was... for missing scenery. It says C. Jenkins design triggered source code core. Applications crash. That was the last thing. I don't know. I'll send that to you guys in Discord and work from there. Slew to a waypoint. Is that possible? Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go into Vagar instead of making a flight, because it's going to take so long to set up, guys. We'll take off, and then we'll have a crack at the approach. That will still... I tell you what, I'll start kind of like ready to taxi in Vagar, and we'll go from there. But guys, yeah, just give me 10 minutes to get... Well, 5-10 minutes to set up, and we'll go from there. Sorry about this. It's frustrating to watch, I can imagine. It's very frustrating for me. I can't believe it. But we'll rescue what we can. We're going to load up in Vagar. We're going to take off, and then we'll get in here live weather, see if we can at least fly the approach. But guys, I'll see you all shortly. Thank you.
Please check your quarantine scripts folder.
Hi guys, I'm back. I'm still raging. I'm keeping my calm though. I can't believe that. A311 for me is getting a lot less stable. I had been streaming now for 2 years and I've had pretty much no problems, but in the last month I've had crashes. 2 during streams, a lot more during testing. I don't know if it's Vulcan or what, but hopefully we'll get to the bottom of it here. So yeah, what we're going to do, I mean, I guess it's completely impossible to get to where we were in the flight, so we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're now in Vagar, we're in the Faroe Islands, and what I've done, I've set up the A300 to be in a, ready for engine start state. We're live weather, so we're going to still fly the approach which we're planning to fly. We're just not live time, we're running the sim 12 hours before. Scenery is from Aerosoft, but what we're going to do, we're going to get the aircraft set up, we're going to take off from Vagar, and we'll put ourselves into hold, and we're going to fly the same approach. So basically, by the time we fly the approach, we'll be around where we would have been if we'd flown in here. So you can still get to see me fly the exact same approach, albeit not completing the same flight from A to B. But yeah, a bit of a shame. And I'm gonna have to. I've got to cross the pond on Saturday. I really don't want the sim to crash for that. I'll be gutted to say so. But yeah, you can see. Look, here's the level of the runway. Very, very short. Takeoff performance doable. It'll be very, very interesting here as well. Joan Taz, I understand, but this is exactly the problem with X-Plane 11. You have to put so many add-ons and plugins to make it acceptable. The chances of the crashes are much higher, possibly. But I've got a funny feeling it's something to do with Vulcan or something like that. I've sent the crash report in Discord. No doubt someone will know what they're doing here. Yeah, you can see the apron here, not best suited for an aircraft like the A300, but the aircraft is somewhat set up. We just need to load something into the FMC. Load some fuel up and go from there, and yeah, we'll fly the same localiser approach. Hopefully you'll find something educational in that as well. I saw a crashed A300 around the north of the news. Oh dear, I don't know. And the A300 is like a kind of courtesy of Vagar, possibly. Yeah, very narrow taxiway here. But yeah, I don't think it was the iniBuilds that caused that crash, because it was at the exact same time I opened this. Now it's not crashed now, but as soon as I pushed that, a message came up about X-Plane, something unable to read something, and then it crashed. So it was as soon as I opened the iOS, which I frequently do during streams to make sure it's all working. Right, anyway, let's turn the sim volume up. There we go. Turn the music down. So all I've done is load into the sim, and I've selected the panel state on GPU. So I don't know what that... Right, I'm not going to follow any checklists really. I'm going to just sort of get the aircraft configured here. So these are all on. Looks like the IRS is already aligned. So that's good. External power's on. Put the galley on the bus. Fuel tank's on. Window heater can come on. Pro P can come on. We'll get the APU started now as well. Arm that. I think we're all set up here. Let's have a look here at Vagar. So yes, if anyone in chat asks what's happened, anyone would like to answer sim crash, we're now in Vagar doing the circuit. Well, not we're going to take off, we'll do a SID and then fly the instrument approach we were planning on flying. That would be great to keep everyone informed here, because a lot of people will be expecting us to go from there. Oh, listen, has a level D sim ever crashed on you? Yes, and they can sometimes crash and go wrong big style. I had it once when I was instructing. The hydraulic jacks jammed, and we were doing a rejected takeoff at the time, and the sim just completely froze. And we were stuck in this sort of vertical, when the sim simulates braking on the runway, it tips up, and you don't actually realise until it stopped how steep it is. So we kind of stopped and crashed, and I was like, oh, I went to undo the straps, so I was like, oh, I can't stand up straight here. So we actually had to depressurise the jacks using, we have two kill switches. We have one which kills everything, one that lowers the aircraft and lowers the stands. That happened once, and then the sim was very broken for about a day. So yeah, it happened, everything sort of breaks occasionally. Right, anyway, here's Vagar. We're going to take off, obviously, from runway 12 with that strong wind forecast today. There are several SIDs available. We're just going to fly, I think this one takes us off here. Yeah, if we fly this SID here, that takes us towards the approach, actually, the NDB, which is pretty cool. So that will be perfect, the My 2 Sierra. And then from My, we can go straight outbound to fly the localiser approach. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to brief everything on the ground here to go from there. So that's the departurable flight, and from there we're going to go straight into the localiser approach at runway 12, and that's actually really well positioned because we're going to go over the NDB, back round onto the localiser and fly the approach in. So let's put some basic stuff into the FMC for that. So Echo Kilo Victor Golf / Echo Kilo Victor Golf. So that's all working. Costa Nix will still stick in 5. Let's go up to... Is there anything on the SID here? Stop altitude. You know what? I'm only going to go up to 3,700 feet because that is the height of the procedure. That's going to put us above the MSA as well, I think. Yeah, just about 3,600, and the platform's 3,700. So unusually, put 3,700 as the cruise. Well, this is flight level, but it's going to be an altitude. Sticking 3,700 here. It's going to be a very quick flight, probably around 15-20 minutes or so. We'll stick the same call sign, Alpaca 6 Victor Alpha. Cruise wind, I mean, well, let's just put the surface wind in here, which is... Let's have a look here in Vagar. It's still blowing a hoolie, 14028, gusting 41, 23 gusting 41, outrageous, so 140, I won't put the gust in, I'll just put /23, 6,000 metres, very tight, but we should be able to get in off the localiser approach. So the winds are in, and let's go to page 2. Right, so if we look at our original flight plan, you can see the fuel on arrival. Let's stick that on. I'm not going to take alternate fuel now and go to Aberdeen or anything like that. We'll plan to get in here, a bit unrealistic, but we're doing circuits in A300 in IMC. I mean, that's as realistic as it is. I just wanted to see how much fuel we were planning on arriving with, if we'd taken standard fuel plus the extra we were planning on, which is on the last page of the flight plan. So they are Vagar. We were planning to arrive with, is the left one? Yeah, fuel on board. 6.9 tons, 7 tons, and we said we'd take an hour on top. So if I put 7 plus 5 is 12, plus a little bit extra. So if I put 12 tons, we're going to have another ton to burn to take off. If I put 13 tons on, we'd be around the same amount of fuel that we would have been arriving with had the sim not crashed. So we'll go 13 tons. So return. Ground ops load manager, fuel 13 tons. Next, load fuel. We we said the cargo was 20 tons, I think. 20 tons. Load. Next. Computing. Let's have a look at the takeoff performance here. It could be very tight. I think we tested this on Discord earlier. It was a lot lighter as well, so it'll be quite interesting to see if we can actually get airborne. So before I send that takeoff performance to the flight computer, I'm going to note the block fuel, which is 13 tons. No, 16, 13, there we are, 13 tons. Zero fuel weight is 109.6 tons. And the CG is 30.2 now. So that's all in. 20 tons, two bags of alpaca feed. That's Llama International's 2 bags of llama, 2.5 kilos of 2.5 kilos of llama. Llama International, they take llama feed. Amazing. So that's done. I won't do the take performance just yet because I need to put the flight plan in first. So flight plan, departing Echo Victor Golf, SID, runway 12. We said it was going to be the My 2 Sierra. Our My 2 Sierra, insert, that takes us all the way to My from Victor Golf 699, which is set, and then we're going to go to flight plan, Echo Kilo Victor Golf, star, localiser 12, insert, so that's going to take us from Mike Yankee, let's just get rid of this for a second. Plan. Looks a bit of a mess, but that's because obviously the way the approach is all in, it's there. So there's the SID, Victor Golf 652, 654, 699, Mike Yankee, and then CL12 back to Mike Yankee. So that's all good. And we'll clear that discontinuity. And 3,700 feet, 250 knots, that's fine. We're going to use vertical speed for this approach as well. Looking good. Spaghetti, I know, definitely, but it is there. And the reason that sort of looks like this, Mike Yankee and then CL12, is because of this procedural approach. What it does, it's a what is it, 45, 180 procedural turn, this one. Very unusual, you don't see many of these now. But you go outbound, I think it's a minute, it says on the chart. I think for a Category C aircraft, off the top of my head, it's a minute and a half, so it might go out a bit longer. And then you turn back on in yourself onto the localiser. But that's how that is on the flight plan. It says Mike Yankee, then into CL12, back to Mike Yankee. So that's all set. Okay. And now I think we'll do the performance. So, send to takeoff performance. Echo Kilo, Victor Golf, runway 12, 1800 metres, that is not long. Surface wind 140, and we always take the kind of worst case, so it is 23 gusting 41, but we'll use 23 because it's less of a headwind. We'll check if it's been crosswind, then it's been straight down the runway pretty much. Temperature is 9, QNH is 988, set that now as well. 988. Runway condition is wet. Engine and wing anti-ice will be on for departure. Takeoff weight set. On flex, I don't think it will like this though because of the flap settings too low, being such a short runway. No takeoff data, so it's too much. Use flaps 15 and 20. So just like the 737, if you're interested, I've got a tutorial on flaps and when to use a higher takeoff flap setting, so you can take off into 7.3 and flap 25 on a short runway. I think the same applies here, 15, 20. Let's compute that, see if it likes it. It does, so the runway is now, the length of the runway is the limiting factor. So we can, with a flex temperature of 36 degrees, with flaps 15, 20, which is quite a high flap setting, but it's a short runway, that's the limiting factor. So we'll set those speeds, 129, 129, 133. Send data, send to FMS. received takeoff data. 129, 129, 133. Push that button in. Presets, and then we set this speed in here plus 20 knots, so 230. So it's the clean speed plus 20 knots. 230 in here. Cool. 3,700 feet set. Runway QDM is here. 125. 125. Actually, I'm not going to brief the approach. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put ourselves in a hold before the approach. Anyone here flying the A300 tested if the hold function works? I guess it does. So what we'll do, we'll take off, go towards Mike Yankee, and I'll put myself in the hold at Mike Yankee before we fly the approach. Or I can fly the teardrop. We'll see. If I do the whole lot, it'll be very, very quick, everything here. Watch your bits of my landing gear, runway 12. You've already landed there, CR Studio. It's probably a bit of a mess. Cool, right, performance is done. There's Explain 11 lighting having its field day here. That lighting's not working either now. Oh dear. Right, AP bleeds on. Crossfeed is now open, providing pressurised air for the whole cabin. Lovely. I think everything is set here. I've set everything here on the MCP as well. Oh yeah, just the flex temperature. So, and the trim, 1.2 units down. It's not whirring away anymore, either. Sad times. And flaps we know there, flex 36 degrees. Wicked. Right. So that's all set. I think I was already pretty much the engine start here, so excuse me if I forget any steps. I'll be very reliant on you all. Beacon on, put that to 2. We'll get rid of the external power. It's gone to the AP already. Ground ops, exits, close all. Ground services, we rid of the external power, chocks. I think we're ready for the engine start, guys. So we'll pop beacon on. Which you'd already done. If I've forgotten anything major, please let me know, but I think we're okay. Transponder, we'll leave it 2000, we'll put that to transponder. And now let's start engine number 2. Self-positioning stand here. Hear the blades rattling, that's cool. I can guarantee one thing that's never happened, guys, which is an A300 taking off from Vagar in IMC to come around and do a localiser approach. That's something you'll never have seen before. I am so gutted. I can't believe that flight. Anyway, we'll finish the same way we would have finished, so it still looked pretty good. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. As I said, we'll be back in here in around 20 minutes or so, flying the exact approach we would have done. Ruben Leroy, brake fan with that runway length, even for takeoff. Yeah, so self-positioning stand, no pushback required. So I need this on ILS actually for departure, and we'll tune this approach here as well. The guys at Discord helped me earlier because I couldn't work out how to get the ILS displaying correctly, but you have to put that switch in ILS for that to work. 111 and 1091. Look at the. I just realised there's engine instruments here. It's so clunky. There's all pressure and all quantity. So cool. Right, looks like good start on engine number 2. Engine parameters is very similar to the 7.3, and one's around 20%, N2 600, fuel flow around 300. I think it's a bit higher than that. EGT is a bit cooler than the 7.3. Looks good. That's start engine number 1 now. Charles Orbit, what happened here? The sim crashed, unfortunately, unrelated to the iniBuilds A300. As soon as I opened this, it crashed the sim. I'm going to stop doing that now. So what we've done, we've positioned to the Faroe Islands and Vagar, where we're going to take off and fly the same approach we would have flown anyway, just because I didn't want to end it on such a low note. I'm gutted for you all, really I am. I was really looking forward to that, but there's some digging I need to do. I might turn off Falcon, because I'm having... I went from having no crashes till recently now. It's the second crash I've had in the last 3 streams. So the last 3 streams I've done, I've had 2 crashes, and also whilst testing I'm having crashes as well. A lot of them cannot be determined in the log file, and I know a lot of people I've been speaking to have reported issues with Falcon. So I can't point a finger exactly, but yeah, that's what happened. Does your employer send you on training for flying other planes, like the next-gen planes, like maybe the A330? Well, A330 is definitely not a next-gen plane, but no, we only have the one type here, so don't need to do any other training. The A300 is jinx. Well, not really. This is the first crash I've had with the A300. The first A300 stream we did, it was grand, you know. We did 2 sectors, didn't shut the sim down, it was fine. So yeah, so something wasn't happening with something there. Right, anyway, it looks like we've got 2 good starts. Let's put that to decision height -5 as well. Right. I might get a little checklist here for this one. There we go, after start flow, so ignition switch to off. AP bleed off. AP to off. Anti-ice is required, so we simply have engine and wing. Anti-ice on for departure. Speed brake armed. Rudder trim neutral. Flaps, remember we're going to be using... in position here. It's 1 less than full. 1520. Such a short runway here. Trim set for departure. And that's it, just the taxi to come next. Taking the Zebo mod on the cross the pond, Oliver. Can't wait for the passenger variant. I know A300, the iniBuilds are releasing a passenger variant very soon, aren't they? Cool, so we're ready to taxi now. Taxi, turn off. Wicked, right, guys, we're taxiing around on a very tight apron like this. In fact, it's quite very tight. And we're very careful. We'll most likely have a marshal to have a careful stand here. Also, just before we take off as well, I just want to show you the runway here because it rains. Very sloped look. As you see, we're going to be landing on runway 12 anyway, but you can see if you flare too much, the runway falls below you for the reciprocal runway. Oh look, here's the weather just loading in again. Damn it, it's gotten worse. I'm just trying to think. Oh, I don't think we're going to get in. That's when we're going to be coming out of clouds. Might be going around, which will be good fun anyway. If we do have to go around, we'll try the RNAV approach, which is a bit broken in sim, but I'll do my best. Cool, right, let's release the parking brake. I always want to see what the latest METAR is for the weather to have drastically decreased. 6,000 metres overcast to 1,000. Ah, tight. Right, parking brake's released. I'm going to jump outside actually for this. Go full right on the tiller. See how close the wing gets to the terminal, but we're all good here. Cut across the taxiway. Very narrow, but wide enough. The backtrack for runway 12 for departure. Just want to mess on the ND, but that is kind of how we're flying anyway. What that's going to look like. Also, 30 metre wide runway here, so it's when you're doing a 180 after the backtrack, it's going to be I've just noticed as well the sim is stuttering loads. Look at that stutter. God damn it. That's definitely not the A300 again. What's causing the stuttering? Is that Vulcan? Crikey. I'm going to have to do some digging. And I've actually, very recently, X-Plane's been very stable for me. But I've jinxed it. I've done something. Stuttering here. I'm getting that stutter every few seconds here. I was trying to see if we can find out what's causing it. Now, where is it you can find like a little display where you can see? See what's using what. See that stutter? It's moving every kind of like few seconds. That that's what's causing the stutter in the sim. That so something's causing it to stutter. I think it's Navigraph. Let's disable the Navigraph sim link. Yeah, it's Navigraph that's causing the stutter. Maybe that's what caused it to crash as well. The sim link. Now I've disabled it. It's gone. Right. Anyway. Let's have a look here. So when you're doing a 180 turn on a tight looping like this runway, it's only 30 meters wide. You've got to use every inch of it. Now it looks like I'm on the grass, but remember the nose hangs over a little bit and the nose wheel's behind, so you've got to use every inch of that. Thanks, Commander Jenna. I can't believe I actually worked that out myself. Yeah, Navigraph Simlink often causes that stuttering. So hopefully they'll fix that as well. Turning from a professional pilot streamer to a bug fixer streamer. So you can see that's right on the tiller and still will overshoot the centre line. And we also need to do before takeoff check this before we blast off as well. So even though I've gone full tiller, look, it's lined us up on the left hand side of the runway, so I'm going to have to use some of that valuable runway length. Just tidying up that lineup, and then we'll do the before takeoff checklist as well before we blast off. Martin, sorry about the crash, but it's great that you keep going. Love your videos and thank you for sharing your knowledge in aviation. You're most welcome. Yeah, very frustrating. These things happen. The sims can crash, but no, I mean, I think what we're doing, we're rescuing it. It'll be a fun end to the stream here. So guys, yeah, if you've just tuned in and you were watching the start of the flight, unfortunately X-Plane did crash. We have now self-positioned or repositioned here to Vagar, our destination. We're going to take off and fly the exact same approach. I'm going to brief it to you as well. It's going to be, yeah, as fun as we can make it. And of course, we always like to try and complete the flight where possible. Right, so lineup action. So before takeoff checklist, config. We'll just quickly do that. Make sure the aircraft's correctly configured. It is. Nothing's going off, so we'll reset the parking brake. Flaps, we have the leading edge slats in 15, flaps are in 20, so high flap setting for takeoff due to the fact we are runway length limited here as well. Stab trim set for departure as well, which was 1.4 units down. Takeoff briefing then, the pressurization system is all set, there's no warning lights here on the air conditioning panel. And our departure, it's going to be the My 1 Sierra, so we're going to take off straight ahead, go to Victor Golf 640. There it is, Victor Golf 640. Right turn to Victor Golf 652, 652, 654, 654, 699, and then to the MyNDB, which is actually the beginning of the approach into Vagar for the localiser approach. Look at that, and actually we stayed on that heading, we can go straight outbound. Now I'm going to probably enter the hold here so I can take the time to set this up and brief it for you guys, but in real life, if you were coming in this direction, you get over the NDB, start your timer, make a right turn 45 degrees from your track 327 for a minute and a half, and then after that make a left turn to insert the localiser. But what we're going to do, we're going to carry on here, we're actually going to enter the hold here, it's my holding, and then brief the approach, make sure everything's there, we've get it all correctly briefed. Right, so that's done. So prior to takeoff, ignition is required, PAX is required, TCAS to TARA. Obviously I'm not on that sim for this one. So that is set at, guys, I know. I'm going to ask you a second time on a single set today, but get your tokens in chat. Enjoy as we try. It's going to be quite a lot of the runway used here as well to blast off from here in Vagar. Right, let's start the timer. No, I don't want the chronometer. The elapsed timer. There we go. Lights are on. Strobes are on as well. And that's on takeoff. Oops. Enjoy. There we go. Right, parking brake released. There's 40%. EGT is stable as EPR. Let's push toga. Set takeoff thrust. Oops. Don't forget to engage prior to takeoff as well. Nav and profile. There we are. Looking for 1.536 EPR. It's taking a long time to spool up those engines, so we'll have enough takeoff thrust. Right there, we went past 80 knots very quickly, released that forward pressure. Oh, I have to use a lot of rudder here. Right, there's V1, rotate. Look at that, not much runway left, and we're airborne. So we're climb gears coming up. And onto the flight directors. We'll hopefully be back here in about 20 minutes. Really important. You saw the terrain around here, guys. Accurately fly those flight directors. There's climb thrust engaging. The aircraft's going to lower its nose to accelerate. Trimming. Now, at what point do I initiate flap traction? There's no flap bugs here on the 50. I'll go up a notch of flaps. There we are, and out the cloud again. It's me trimming nose down. Let's go up another notch of flaps. The S speed is where we can select flaps up. Right, autopilot's in. I'm going to select vertical speed here. And we're just going to go up to 250 knots and climb at 1,000 feet per minute to 3,700 feet. There we are. Where are we going? All the people joining. We're just doing a circuit to come back here into Vagar because my sim crashed, unfortunately. We're going to fly the same approach we planned on flying here. Now, if we can fly the approach with this sort of visibility, I'll be happy. You can already see that wind look, 158 at 37 knots. Outrageous wind. Right, and we're now making that right turn. Look, there's 250, 1,000 feet to go, inbound to Victor Golf 652. Max speed is 250 knots. And we can now do the after takeoff checklist. So, spoilers disarm, lights turn off, and land lights off, but I'll leave them on. Anti-ice as required, so we can take wing anti-ice off, but as the temperature is only, oh no, it's 12 degrees, we don't even need engine anti-ice. Lovely. APU is required, and that's it. The rest of the checks are 10,000 feet, and then we'll go straight to descent preparation next. Keep an eye on that temperature, make sure it doesn't drop below 10, otherwise we'll need to pop on the engine anti-ice here. Awesome, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to set up enter a hold at Mike Yankee next, before we fly in the approach. That way we have plenty of time to brief it, make sure we're happy here. So it's actually a 291, or the reciprocal will be the final approach track. So it's 111 right hand turn to Mike Yankee. I have no idea if this will hold for us, or if it's at all accurate at holding. We'll find out, but let's try it. I think I push here, Mike Yankee, hold, and that's going to be 111 right hand turns, insert. Okay, so I think we've got the hold in. Hold speed is 200 knots, and that'll give us plenty of time then to set up our approach. There's no point now blasting around at 250. We've levelled off at 3,700, so what I'm actually going to do is bring that speed back to around 220, which is a little more respectable. Not burning all that extra fuel going around here as well. Right, so aircraft's all set up. That's going to enter the hold nicely for us at Mike Yankee. We're happy with the SID. It's an RNAV SID flying that nicely. Now let's start setting up everything here for this localiser approach. So I'll hand over the control to Jim, who's maintaining 3,700 feet for us. We're happy with the terrain. MSA in this sector is 3,600, and the minimum holding altitude is 3,700, which is what we're holding at. So we know we're not going to hit expect any of the high terrain ones around Vagar. So descent preparation, ECAM memo, check status. Okay, I guess if there's any warnings you fulfill them. Weather and landing information obtained, so we've got the latest weather, it's atrocious. FMS, enter expected arrival into the flight plan page, which we've done. Check speed, so we're going to go to the takeoff approach page, we're going to use full flap 30. The V approach speed is 138, and I don't think I make any correction to this, am I right in saying in an Airbus? I think that is the actual final approach speed we set, which is 138 knots in this case. MDA, that is for this approach 820 feet. We're going to add 40 feet to that. That's 860. That's an operator. So P. So if we go around, we don't get below this height. Well, I press final. I don't know what that does. I probably activated approach mode or something. Oh yeah, Jim says gear off. Thanks, plainly. That'd be good because the gear wouldn't come down, and that means I can now set my auto brake setting, which I think we said would go for medium. So that's all set. Decision height set on the FCU. Now, you don't really want to set a decision height on this sort of approach because of the undulating terrain. It's associated with more precision approaches, so I'm actually going to deselect that and leave it off. And we're just going to set here 820 plus 40, which is 860. And we'll bug that with this little orange bug. And basically, when I'm at 860 feet, for a non-precision approach, if I'm not visual with some element of the approach light system, the threshold, the runway, whatever, I have to go around for a Cat 1 or a non-precision approach there. RVR required is 2,500 metres for this approach. There's also a sealing requirement. I've never seen that on a chart before, because RVR is what's usually controlling. The RVR here in Vagar is 6,000 metres, so it is low, but it's still well within limits. And it is overcast at 1,000 feet. We should be visual. Well, the minimums above the ground is 556 feet, so we should be below cloud. There's nothing here which pertains to an approach band, and the weather should, as it is doing what it should be, as it's saying, we should be visual 500 feet above minimums there. So how are we going to fly this, guys? We're going to enter the hold here at Mike Yankee. We're then going to enter the hold whilst we continue flying, briefing the approach there. We're then going to fly outbound from the NDB to the localiser, and we better actually tune that NDB, which is 337. 7. There we are. I can see the RMI on the ADF spinning towards the beacon. You'd also have to confirm the ident. I hope that's the case. It is the correct one. There's also an NDB associated with the missed approach, 348. So we'll tune that on the second ADF. Oh my. Okay, that's not being picked up. Alright, well, if we have to go around, we'll have to wing it in heading select. Not sure why that's been picked up. We're going to maintain 3,700 feet. When we're at 8.8 DME, which you can see on the PFD here, it's 6.7 at the moment. Obviously, when we reach 8.8, we're going to initiate our descent. Now, I did try this testing in profile mode, which is sort of VNAV. It didn't work at all. I don't know if that's, again, the way I need to program it in the iniBuilds, I don't know. So I'm going to use vertical speed. Now, usually on a chart, you'll have your required target rate of descent. There's no information about that on your chart, so all I'm going to simply do is use our ground speed, times that by 5 for the required rate of descent on final approach. And at 8.8 miles, we're going to initiate our descent, and then we'll be checking these altitude distance cross-checks on the way down. So at 8 miles, we need to be at 3,300, 7 miles, 2,900, you've got the idea. And 5 times our ground speed when we initiate this approach will be around 160 knots or so. 16 times 5 is around 8, I think. Yeah, 16 times 8, so 800 feet per minute will be a target rate of descent to aim for, and then we'll just alter that as we go around. So there we are, entering the hold. Seems like it's doing a parallel entry, so it should turn around and then go around again. Go once around the hold. Minimums then 820 plus the 40 feet, so 860. If we have to go around, oh God knows what I have to do in this thing. Firewall the thrust lever. It's an Airbus. Where's the go around button? No, I'm kidding. I'll push toga. I'll retract the flaps to 1 notch. I don't know what they are. Raise the gear. Check we have a roll mode engaged. We'll make a right turn. I'm meant to be then going to this NDB Victor Golf. Do we have a missed approach programmed in here? Well, no, it just says 3,700 back to I. So I have to make sure that we make that right turn, don't go towards that terrain, and then once we get to this alternate NDB, make a right turn back to the NDB to hold. So that is it. Those mountains look awfully close. Yeah, they are very close. Dominic McAfee, just discovered you. I love it. So fantastic. And if you are just watching this for the first time, yes, we did have a crash, but fortunately, we are now attempting this approach into Vagar, having just taken off from there, and that's it. I'm a furloughed, well, airline pilot, but I've been streaming way before then. But welcome aboard. We did the performance, didn't we? Any questions before we commence the approach? Because what I'm going to do, as soon as we make that left turn, and credit to iniBuilds, it does seem to be holding quite nicely here. Once we're back inbound to Mike Yankee, I might just go straight outbound for the approach. If you don't have any questions, we'll go from there. Oh my, those mountains look awfully close. It was you, Commander Jennerhofen. Yes, that's why you must respect all these altitude constraints on the approach there, especially in IMC like this. You can see, look at the drift. The wind's pushing us in this direction. I'll switch to this view, but you can see that the wind's kind of pushing us this way. Very strong. Wicked. Why did you add 40 feet to that DA, said Alexandra? That's an MDA. Difference between an MDA and a DA. A DA is a point at which you decide to execute a missed approach on a precision approach like a Cat 1 ILS or certain RNAV approaches, or a Cat 2 or Cat 3. An MDA is a minimum descent altitude which you cannot go below. So by adding 40 feet, will ensure in the event of an execution of a go-around where the aircraft will, with its inertia, initiate or continue to descend, it will actually never get below the actual MDA, in this case 820. So if we initiate the go-around at 860, it won't get below 820. And that's the minimum descent altitude. Yeah, good job. It's entering the hold here. So how do I exit a hold? That's the next question. Oh, I saw a button there. Hold on. Immediate exit. I guess it'll do that for me now. Fingers crossed. If not, I'll just have to go heading select. But yeah, 13-mile final already, so I'm going to go flat 1. Order brakes to medium. Is that a tornado? No, I hope not. Right. Anyway, the ADF is... it looks like we picked up the second NDB now as well. Ooh, where are we going? Where are we going? I don't like where we're going at the moment. What I'm going to do quickly is go heading select arm for lock. Oh, it's already captured the localiser. That's great. Oh, I've completely broken the FFC now. Oh no. Right, well, I'm not going to use it anyway because I'm going old school. Oh, I really need it though. Oh, Airbus, what have I done? Right, no, it's the worst possible timing. Take off. No, I've broken it, guys. I'm going to have to... Yeah, it's not even holding the approach anyway, right? Scrap that. We're abandoning approach. My lack of Airbus knowledge has come to bite me up the roggin. What we're going to do is enter the hold here. So I'm going to go on a right turn 291. I did something Airbus. I tried to basically do something I do in the Boeing, and I've screwed that up. Oh no, it's now rolling past that. If we want to do that, so we're going to enter the hold manually. Did I move the flap lever? I did. We're now in slats 15, up at 0. We're just going to maintain this speed. Roll out on that outbound heading at 291. We're on the holding side here. And I think I know what I did there. Right, how do I reselect this approach? this in 600 minus 670 feet? Yes. How do I get rid of all this? Don't tell me I was clear on everything. What's the active waypoint? Victor Golf 652. I miss my Boeing sometimes. Right, Mike Yankee is now the active waypoint in the database. I guess I want to go to direct to CL12, but I'm going to carry on. What I'm going to do, guys, is carry on outbound here for a short while, get myself some nice breathing space, and then I'll route direct to CL12 direct to get the aircraft to turn. Please note the title, real Boeing 737 captain. Yes, I like this fact. Right, I think that's all I need to do now. Correct me if I'm wrong. We'll carry on outbound in the hold for a short while, and then direct to CL12. These heights don't look right, that's why I'm not using profile mode. 3.2 miles, I need to be at 1400 feet. For some reason it's saying minus 670, minus 290, then 870. That's correct. That's why I'm not going to use profile mode. Kick my cat, you cheeky git. Ignore the real world part. Oh, look at how we disconnected from that sim. Yeah, the sim crashed. We've not even done any descent here. We're just going to try and get in off this approach here. And you're providing an excellent case of time ratings, David. Brilliant. Right, we'll carry on for a little bit longer. I'll keep the flaps where they are. I'll maintain the S, which I think is the flap speed. Yeah, is it still above 10 degrees? Oh no, we should have engine anti-ice on now, so ignore the huge chunks of ice on the galley. PK old school manual flight only. I'll see. Let me get established on the approach first. Very hard in IMC to fly a vertical speed non-precision approach. Making corrections to vertical speed in an aircraft designed for 2 people, but we'll see. Right, let's now go direct CL12. Insert. Nav. Okay. So where am I dented? Wireless. Ooh, climbing a bit. Hey up. Jacob, does active sky affect FPS in any way? Not really. The clouds do, so if you've got a lot of clouds that will affect your performance, but not too much. They've got 2 cloud sets with active sky, a simple and a detailed. I do have the detailed one, but I don't make a huge difference there. I mean, what am I getting in the sim now? Yeah, I'm getting 55 FPS. So I mean, ortho for me is a huge hit in FPS. What gen of 737 do you fly in real life, Fuzzy Slug? The Edgy. So, I'm going to shortly go out of profile mode and use the localiser only. We've definitely got the ILS tune 1091. 111's the course, so that is all set. Now, you do get glide slope deviation here. Now, in the 737, it was localiser only, you won't get any glide slope deviation, so I don't know if that's an A300 thing, but this will not be accurate. It will say locked on, saying I'm on the glide slope. There is no glide slope here. I'll be very much reliant on those altitude distance cross checks. So how long till Mike Yankee? 11:08. 11:05, so 3 minutes to go. Callum Black, sorry I didn't join sooner. I was watching Scotland game against Serbia. They scored last minute equaliser on penalties. I'm so happy right now. Fantastic, Callum. Congratulations. But I'll go out. not this evening. I'm quite honest. I'm looking forward to finishing this, but that's only because I want to really find out why the sim crashed. I'm calm. I'm very calm and collected, and I always will be. But I am very. I just want to know what happened. It's a really look at these sort of flights. I do all the streams I want to run successfully, but particularly these sort of challenging ones. Magician 50, can I do a 360? Quick one for you? Right, anyway, here comes Charlie Lima 12. Localiser will be coming in soon. Some light turbulence. You can see the aircraft's rocking slightly, but nothing too bad. We're very much in IMC now. Sort of just to show you what's around us. Look, if I just briefly look outside and go low, there you go. So this is all the high terrain we're approaching. Weather's improved quite a lot. Definitely got live weather on. Yes, a 44 knot wind. This is unusually calm for such weather. So what I'm going to do now is a bit early, but I'm going to set the height I want to descend to 900 feet. That should arm vertical speed. Start descending. Thanks for subscribing, Angelica M. Welcome aboard. So the white line there is the rest of the missed approach. Looks of it. Now I don't know what happened last time because I did engage Vorlock, but the aircraft turned away from it. I'm not sure why. It shouldn't really have happened. Anyway. Can I replicate a failed engine to make it more interesting? Oh, sorry, firing a localiser approach in IMC with weather conditions on limits, an aircraft I have no clue how to fly. I'll be spicing up a bit more. There's a localiser coming alive. I'm just going to wait until we're inbound to Mike Yankee before I arm it. Didn't turn off. I shouldn't technically wait until that point. Is this Aerosoft scenery? It is. Right, better do some sort of landing check this float here. Arm speed brake. Water brake is set to medium. Exterior lights are set. There we are, I think that'll do us. Right, let's try localiser again. So, localiser capture. That's better. And now we're going to be waiting. Where's it going? Oh, it's just turning a little bit aggressively off the course there, but it is intercepting the localiser there. Now waiting until Mike Yankee, 0.4 miles to go. And then we're going to start that descent now at 1,000 feet per minute. You always set that as a kind of initial descent rate. Crikey, if it'll actually get there, come on. Right, oh yeah, I need to pull it, don't we? There we go. So the aircraft's now going to descend. I completely forgot about flaps, so taking a notch of flaps. Yeah, I completely forgot about the flaps. I'm going to drop the gear as well, very early, but I completely forgot we're only 8 miles away. So, next height check, 7 miles. 7 miles, we want to be at 2,900 feet. Keep that up here for you. So 7 miles, 2,900 feet, yeah, we're very high on profile here, so I'm going to keep it at 1,000 feet per minute. My speed's not going to be helping either. Oops. I have a habit of exceeding max flat placard speeds in an Airbus. Our ground speed should be quite low though, so it'll come back to us. 6 miles, we need to be at 2,500 feet. It's catching up. There's 6 miles, so we're about 200 feet high. We'll keep it descending at 1,000 feet per minute. Now select the landing flap. Just below that max flat placard speed. 5 miles, we need to be at 2,100 feet. And about 100 feet high, I'm going to go 4 miles, 1,700 feet. I'll start arresting that rate of descent slightly now. And should be a runway there. There it is, runway's there. So what I'm going to do is continue visually to disconnect everything, have a bit of fun. So yeah, I don't know what's happened to the active sky weather, because I was expecting to come out of the cloud a lot lower. I definitely have live weather on, and it's overcast at 800 feet apparently. I'm at 1800, so I don't know why it's definitely in here. Look, the cloud 32 knots. I don't know. Everything's going to pot tonight. Right, we'll disconnect. Watch this, I'll probably get plunged into IMC now. Right, disconnecting the autopilot. Disconnecting the auto throttle. Told you. Oh no, as soon as I disconnect, everything's gone. Right, I'm just going to keep descending. What was the minimum? It's 900 feet? Oh no. Keep following the flight directors. We could be going around here, boys. This is where your first officer will be reading the altitude distance cross checks. I'm hand flying an MPA here. Oh, look at that, out the suit. That's better. That's actually now realistic. Right, there's the runway. I can see pappies. No pappies here. Right, we'll keep it descending. Right, we're fully stable. Flight directors come off because I'm not using them. Don't use the localiser, guys. 3 reds, so a tad low. Target speed 143 is on. 2 reds, 2 whites. That wind. At least the weather updated right at the last second. It was true. Got a master caution. That'll be for the auto throttle being disconnected, so I'll cancel that. Don't get blown past the centre line. Keep descending now. 3 whites. It's up slope here as well, so the chance of getting a hard landing increased. Checked. Oh, let's just change to the sim. Bit high here. Closed. A little bit of rudder. Acceptable. I'll take that in these conditions. Right. Speed brakes up. Reverses. There's 100 knots. 80 knots. 60 knots. Manual braking. There we are, reverse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Vagar, the Faroe Islands. That was a non-precision localiser approach, which I think had the flight not crashed we would have been doing anyway around the same time, so it sort of worked out okay. Landing a bit firm, but in these conditions with a runway that is upsloped, I'm more than happy with an acceptable landing. My goodness. I know, look good on the replay though. Right, look at that windsock though. Remember the wind, well you can't see it now, but the wind is gusting up to 40 knots here. I think the windsocks look completely vertical. There you go. Awesome stuff. Alright, we'll select the flaps up. Speed brake. Disarm. There we go. And we'll do a little 180 and we'll go to where we started. But guys, thank you so much for staying put with me, and like I said, the sim crash, annoying as it is, we still at least flew the approach we would have done, be thrown back into IMC as well. That was exciting. And yeah, what's the temperature of the wheel brakes? 140, reasonable. Such a narrow runway here, you've got to be so careful. It looks like from the cockpit that you've overshot it, you're going on the grass, but remember the nose wheel's behind you. You can overshoot it slightly. Concorde even more so. Your best landings aren't always your softest. Well said, Flight Sim dude. There we are. Right, let's go on here. Petrus, I would love to go back into X-Plane, just can't justify all the add-ons I would need to buy, but I do miss the in-depth functionality in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Do you mean X-Plane? Microsoft Flight Simulator is lacking at the moment a little bit of in-depth functionality because there's no decent aircraft, but no doubt there will be in time. Wicked. Let's get that APU cranked up. Engine anti-ice can come off as well. We'll try and park there on that very narrow taxiway. Now, Aaron, thanks for streaming. It was better than watching the news on The Office, of course. I need to turn that off there. Huge upslope here. You can look at the altimeter increasing, look, as we taxi up this runway. It's realistic. And that's why this runway, you've got to be careful there. If you hold off the flare, the runway will start dropping behind the below the aircraft. It'll just keep floating, so we'll just chuck it down into the touchdown zone there. APU's available. Being pushed around with the wind here on the rudder. That's the exit here. Number 2. Turn off the landing lights, the strobes. APU's available already. Excellent. Very narrow taxiway here for the A300. Yeah, so I don't know if any of the members are still around as well. I did post the log in Discord, so I don't know if anyone found it, but as I said, it was in flight, it was when I brought this up, which also simultaneously was the same time as me opening Navigraph. I don't think it was Navigraph charts, I don't think that's ever caused a crash in the past, but yeah, it was when I pressed I, an explain message came up. I wish I'd taken a screenshot of it, and I had a funny feeling when it came up, as soon as I pressed OK, it was going to crash. It's just one of those explain messages that came up. Ah well. Right, there's stand 3. Right turn now. See if I can at least park straight. Ugh, brakes are so aggressive. It's either all brakes or no brakes. Sounds are awesome, yeah, they are good in the iniBuilds A300. Oh gosh, my taxiing skills aren't that great though. Full left on the tiller. Oh, look, I've got full right on the tiller and it's still going left. I've got full right. Come on. That's me firewalling the thrust lever. But I'm well off it though anyway. Right, parking brake is set, APU is available, so we can shut the engines off. 1, 2. There we are. We'll take the anti-cold lights off as well. A bit early, but so be it. Let's have a listen to those engines spooling down. I'd say that parking ain't too bad. Leaving it off the line, and definitely should be a bit further forward, but so be it. Yeah, nice. Very good. Let's have a look at the comments here now. Oh, you had to say it and jinx yourself. I know, when I got plunged into IMC, that was hilarious. You forgot the speed brakes, did I? I think I did arm the speed brakes. We'll just have a look on the replay. Oh, you mean on the taxi? No, they're up. No, I did arm them quite early on the approach, I think. I think they come up with reversers. Maybe I did forget them. Let's have some fun, he said, I know. Arm speed brake. Yeah, I probably did forget it. Gavin! Who's played Red Dead Redemption? Remember that random side mission? That guy going, Gavin! Really great to see you pushed on with the stream. Thanks, Plain Old Ben. I hope you're doing well, buddy. Good. You armed them. Thanks, my man, you. I'll play it back. I'm sure I did. Alright, guys, well, that's it. Thank you very much for staying put with me. Again, I'm not going to keep going on about it. I'm very sorry about the crash. I mean, yeah, I'd love to get down to the bottom of that. It's happening more and more often here, be it the iniBuilds, nothing to do with that, and the Zebra one had a crash too. It's definitely an X-plane. I think I might disable Vulcan when I test the stream tomorrow across the pond. But yeah, thanks a lot for turning up anyway. And of course, albeit it did crash, we'll always end a Flight Deck Sim live stream with a replay and the funky music. Here we go. Find it. Ooh, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Now, why is that not working? I wonder. It's a sign of the stream. The funky music's not playing. Why is that? Oh, I know why. It's turned down. There we go. Professional streamer here. Right, let's jump on into the flight deck. Ah, that's a lovely one to start from. So you can see here, we're already being pushed around by the wind. It was pretty much straight down the runway, but you can see we've got that slight drift on here. Here's me making the correction, as it was an offset localiser, right? So it lined up on the centre line, it blows slightly past it. Playing great stream anyway, at least makes us not so bad without a Sims crash. I know my PC is not. PC's fine, it's excellent. There we are, so we're lined up nicely there, see, it looks epic. Anyway, if anyone plays the video back, they'll probably even realise the stream crash if they go straight to the end of it. Sound. So, a little bit left of centre line, there's the check. Yeah, a bit of firm, but you know what? On this runway, more acceptable. There, speed brakes came up. Look, I definitely armed them. Look, they popped up. All you critics in chat. I've made plenty of mistakes though. And you can see it's down slope now, so as we roll out here, look, the runway, the aircraft slowly disappears as it goes down that slope. Wicked. Let's do another one. Right, that'll do. Oh, look at that cross. That was when the wind changed in active sky. Look at that crab. There you go. So come to the flare, put a bit of left rudder in. There's the left rudder coming in. Just a bit make the speed brakes go. Reverses out. Rating set acceptable. I think it was a great one. Agreed. Always going to agree with that. Let's have a look from the tower view. Conditions as well. Yeah, very happy with that. Great aircraft as well. Love the turn on. A bit outside the touches. Down we go. Puff of smoke, unfortunately. Excellent. Well, guys, that's it. End of another Flight Deck Sim live stream. We got to the Faroe Islands, albeit in the fashion we didn't expect, but nice to at least have demonstrated that approach as well. Flew very, very nicely. I'm very, very happy with how that went. Ignore the master cautions, the flapping sequence of the approach though, but that's a mere lack of knowledge of the Airbus. Look at the control column going there. That's right. Let's not start the replay from there. But yeah, I hope you found it enjoyable anyway. You can grab the iniBuilds Airbus A300. I can't remember what the price is. It isn't expensive, but it's like with anything with high quality pay add-ons like the PMDG. You get what you pay for, which is a fantastic high fidelity add-on, which is something I can always guarantee you'll have a great time flying any of these aircraft. So yeah, go grab that if you enjoy it. As to everyone that's donated today, thank you very much for the contribution. Everyone that's a member as well, thank you for the continued support. I'll do a few bits and pieces with Across the Pond preparation tomorrow. And guys, I'll see you all on Saturday morning around 11 AM midday UK time for the Across the Pond event. I'll try and get to the bottom of what caused the sim crash as well. But as ever, stay safe, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all on Saturday. Take care.